just me, Ria, if it was just me and you, we would have been 10 minutes early.
Oh my God.
Yeah. The outside working out, I was like, you don't have a podcast.
I was.
He just you're sweating like bullets. He never yard into the interview.
No,
room.
I changed.
But okay. So since you mentioned sweating, I cranked up the AC, right?
Yeah.
And then I was like, you know what? Let me put on my TCF hoodie, but I don't have the one with the zipper.
We didn't get zippers yet.
Right. So
I was going to wear my Unified Martial Arts Academy t-shirt, and he said, no, you cannot wear that.
How are we going to wear that and talk
because
about
we are
Bruce Lee?
asking about JKD and tough scenarios, and people now put on a JKD.
No, of course. What are you talking about? Of course you can wear that. So
I was
Go ahead.
I was going to wear my TCF sweatshirt.
That would have been funny. He and TCF.
I know. That's funny.
All right. Okay. So let me, I should have done this before we started, we went live. So behave yourselves, because now everybody can see us and hear us. I just have to make sure of one thing here though. Right? Yeah.
I should have put my questions over there. So look like
that's right.
I reference them over here looking off camera.
Oh my God. How can all the marks be on here already?
Oh yeah.
I get to see what they're saying while we're talking too.
Well, see, okay. So, all right, let me officially welcome everyone to the Jeet Kune Do Dialogues episode number 314. Probably my second, if not third, reverse dialogue, where instead of me asking somebody questions, the tables are being turned. However, what you were just saying, Mr. G. Anthony, this is what we should have done with you. We should have put you off camera to control the comments or something, right? Because, so my esteemed colleagues, Ria and G. Anthony Joseph. Now, the reason I put her first is because she's going to do all the work. For 2 days, you've been telling everybody, you just here for the popcorn. Right? Yeah. So, to all of you out there joining us, Mark Stewart, Mark Collins, Steve Mosley,
hi guys,
Mark Black, all the Marks, right?
Ron
Reagan's here.
Hi, Ron.
So Ria and G. Anthony are my associate martial art colleagues, good friends, but most importantly are my instructors in TCF, the system. And so it is with great pleasure and some trepidation that
easy.
right? That they're on with me today. So no need for further ado. Let's just get into this. Now, you didn't tell me this was the other thing we should have done with him, Ria, is to put him in charge of the video queuing. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. We have to video.
That's
you could
but that's only if we get to it. You
wanted to
that's
some opening remarks. Let him play it after the opening remarks.
Is she pretty? Look how pretty she is. Isn't she pretty?
Yeah, I was like, man, I'm gonna be on.
I said, go put makeup on. Look pretty.
Really? Okay. All right.
Special podcast.
Yeah.
Okay. So, all right. So what do you want to do? Where do you want to start?
So let me just put a disclaimer up front, and then she will begin.
Okay.
We love you, Dwight. We love your community. A lot of your followers love us. We love them.
Brian Carter Green say behave.
Behave. We're gonna behave, Brian. But we are going to try to pretend, if we want to be as direct as we can, to pretend sometimes that we don't know you, that we're outsiders looking in, so that for anyone who thinks that we're being rough in any way. We're not. We love Dwight Woods. We love what he does. We love his people. But sometimes it's outside. It's like when I tell them in the school, once you come into the school and you bow, I am no longer your friend. But once it's over, then, because they get the best out of it that way. So, right, it's going to be hard, but we pretend
I don't know
every
if it's
now
going
and
to
then.
be hard. It's just going to be.
But I just wanted to put that disclaimer up front.
It's not hard. It's just honest questions, and all we could get is honest answers, right?
Yeah.
So it's not a hard like test.
Well, I don't know, man. Maybe that is one of the things that has been ailing Jeet Kune Do for a while. There's not enough honesty in it.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
At the core. Go ahead.
All right.
So.
All right. Earlier this year, I didn't get to hear a podcast you were doing. I only caught a shot of it as I was passing by. And you said, yes, it's just like the story of the blind man and the elephant. So I'm going to start with that question. What do you think we can learn from the story of the blind man and the elephant as it relates to martial arts?
Well, succinctly, that that if you don't do, I'll do it from a JKD framework. If you don't do your own research, and if you don't have your own experiences, then when you listen to this guy, to the guy who felt the elephant by the tail, or you listen to the guy who felt the elephant by the trunk, or you listen to the guy who felt the elephant by a leg, and then you accept each of those partialities as a whole, you're in serious trouble. So to me, that story means that yes, you can have input from other people, but you really do, to be cliche-ish, you really do have to do the work yourself, right? You really do have to put in the effort and trust in your effort to have confidence in your ultimate conclusions.
And you think you could only know that from putting in your own effort?
No, not exclusively, because here's how. Now, there's nothing like empirical experience.
Right.
Okay. I can watch video of you in competition and know that what you do works because I can see you pulling it off against people. But that doesn't mean then that I could say, oh, well, I know her, so I'm good like her because I know her. No, I still have to go through the steps that you went through in order to get to that level of ability.
Right.
So I cannot live vicariously through you, right? So that's what I mean by, now I sound like a pundit or a politician doing the work.
Right. But I mean, in the story of the blind man and the elephant, there are many elements to it, right? We have the elephant, and we have the 6 blind men trying to figure out what it is, and we have the person that brought the elephant, right?
Yeah.
So yes, there is the way of figuring out what it is. And okay, let me put it this way: who was correct in the blind man and the elephant? Was it the fellow, the tail, or the wall?
Okay.
Were they all correct?
This is the difference. This is the difference now, between a highly educated individual and a Montessori educator, and then somebody who just did O levels at Harrison College.
Yeah.
Right. You see, because I don't know. I didn't even remember that there was 6 people, and then you have to take in number 7, who's the guy that bring the elephant. Right. I don't even know if you're supposed to consider the elephant himself and what the elephant was going through. Right.
Right.
Good.
Right.
Yep.
I have no idea if all these things are supposed to be considered.
Yes.
If all these things should be given equal relevance or importance.
Well, what's this story about, right? They're trying to find out what it is that this thing is. This thing in the room, they're trying to figure out what it is. And the 6 blind men, and they all touching a different part of the elephant, right? That's the goal of this story, is that they were trying to figure out what it is. So in the end, they came up with their answers. And my question to you is, which of them were correct? Or, what is your take on that story in terms of the blind man and the elephant? Because this is very important in terms of how we think about martial arts as well.
This drives everything else from this point forward.
Well, maybe not,
Yeah.
but I mean, it's a good way to think about martial arts in general.
Yeah.
And this is what I thought you had discussed, because I just kind of heard it.
No.
I was talking about the blind man and the elephant. So I said, let me see what he says about.
So that's where because you just passed by and heard me say.
I just heard the comments and I was like,
oh well, no, my dear, that was a misassumption on your part that this guy has in-depth knowledge and understanding, right, of this story and its relevance to martial art.
Yes.
No. This is mine is
but you know the story, right? You know the story, the blind man and the elephant. You know the story, right? That they yes, not but story. Yes, I am. It's not an unfamiliar story. So who is right? Who has the true answer?
Well, if I knew the story in detail, I could give you a better answer. But since I don't, I'll give you the best answer that I can.
Okay.
They're all partialities, so none of them are right.
That's correct. Okay, that's your take on it. Okay.
That ultimately, that would be my ultimate conclusion, right? That none of them are right because they're all partialities. However, because that is their only experience, there's some validity to if they went on to report their experience, there'd be some validity to it. But validity isn't necessarily the same thing as truth.
Right.
You see?
Right. Okay. So so in the blind man and the elephant, it's often used as a way, the same thing you're saying, that each person's touching a different part of the elephant, and in their experience, it's valid for them to say the elephant is a spear, or the elephant is a wall, or the elephant is a fan, the elephant is a rope. It just depends on what part of the elephant you're touching. But none of those answers are correct. And you, in your opening statement, said we could work towards knowing the answers, right? We could, and I was saying, was that the only way they can? Now, there's two ways that those blind men could find out what the elephant is. They could either explore more of the elephant and figure out, hey, this was just one part. Oh, here's another part. And if they were there long enough, they could probably feel the whole elephant and realize, okay, it's not a wall or it's not a rope. It's actually something much bigger than I thought, right?
Right.
Or they could ask the sighted person who brought the elephant, who knows what the elephant is, because they're not sighted, so they can't see the truth of it, right? So they just ask the sighted person what it is that I'm feeling. So that's some of the ways that we think about martial arts as well, right? Is what we're touching everything that there is to know about a particular thing in martial arts, or is there another way we can learn more about martial arts by asking people who've been in it longer, who are sighted, or maybe exploring it ourselves so that we could understand the whole entire thing of it, right?
Right.
And so that bridge, right? And I took some notes on what people said, practitioners of JKD, right? So practitioners of JKD, and I want to be accurate, so I will read from my quotes of what I wrote down about what they say at JKD. Bridging is what makes the difference in JKD. It is what has changed the JKD structure. Wing Chun is still the core of JKD. JKD is a concept, whereas Jun Fan is the principle. JKD is an approach, not a system. Jeet Kune Do is the way of the intercepting fist or foot. Is JKD the elephant in the room? What is JKD? You define it for us.
So,
because there's so many things differences in those answers.
Well, okay.
And so I want you to define it as
of those.
I don't want you to address what they think. I want you to tell us what.
Right.
what you have discovered or what
Okay,
you
but but let me refer to those statements that you quoted. Those are all examples of the partiality.
right?
Okay, that's what those
Yeah,
are.
but they never said JKD is the elephant.
No.
Right.
So those are all partialities.
Okay.
So when you ask somebody to give you a definitive explanation of what Jeet Kune Do is, what you will probably never get is a 5-word sentence or even a 10-word sentence. Because, right, philosophically, Bruce Lee, I'm trying to think what's the best word, but it's almost like, if I don't know if it was intentional or not, but it was somewhat nebulous, right? Because it was part of this whole thing that, the whole your truth is not my truth and all that, right? So for him, JKD was a methodology in which your conclusions for yourself are as valid as my conclusions for myself. Right?
Okay. But what did we learn from the elephant now?
Huh?
What did we learn from the elephant? Your valid conclusions only touches on one leg, or your valid conclusions only touches on one tail.
No. Because part of the Jeet Kune Do approach is the search for totality. The Jeet Kune Do approach is not at all about I'm holding on to the elephant's left front leg, and that is it for me. That is not at all the Jeet Kune Do approach. The Jeet Kune Do approach is actually what you talked about. If I discover, as one of the 6 blind men, I discovered there's 5 other blind men in there. I want to know what
about the blind men. Okay, go ahead.
What?
It's good. Go
That's
ahead.
funny. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
He didn't discover the elephant. He discovered 5 more blind men.
Wait.
Okay.
No. Okay. All right. No, listen. You hold on. Right? Because this is part of the JKD process, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
So it just so happens that in this particular instance, the first thing I discover is that there's 5 other blind men.
Okay.
So now there's going to be interaction between me and them, because it's like, well, what do you hear? Right? What do you feel? What do you think? Then if the 5 of us, now the 6 of us now working together, right? We go, but wait, somebody brought this thing to us where he is. So now we're going to turn to him and see what we can get from him. And now, depending on whether he's somebody who gives the answers or requires that you do some more work to come to your own conclusions or whatever. But there's nobody truly going through the JKD process who will just stick to. So when I talk about what is valid for me, it doesn't mean what is valid for me within the context of this thing, this box into which I have put myself.
Right.
And which I never leave.
Right. But I'm looking for you to define JKD for me. The question is, what is JKD?
Oh, well.
For you.
Okay. So here, right. Okay. Well, see, okay. So you see what just happened there?
I can tell there's no definition. Everybody has
but Ria, look at what just happened there. You just said, I am looking for you to define Jeet Kune Do for me. Those are the words that you used, right?
Yes.
But that's not actually what you mean.
Well, I'm here now, so that's what I mean by me being here.
Right.
I'm looking for you to give me a definition that I could understand, because I'm the person that's being in this podcast. But I mean, in general, what is JKD? That was the question, right?
But see, but this is one of the things that I'd like for you to grasp about JKD. So I talked about how whether or not it was intentional, that Bruce Lee handed us something somewhat nebulous, to a certain degree, to a certain degree, obviously unfinished. So JKD is right. JKD is so quixotic, right? That when you say, I want you to define it for me, an alarm bell goes off in my head that says, Dwight, you cannot define JKD for Ria. Ria has to come up with her own definition of it, even though I understand what you mean, right? But that's just how JKD discussions, that's the type of thing that ends up in a JKD discussion. Because I've said this before, sometimes people underestimate the importance of individualism when it comes to Jeet Kune Do. But that is what makes it nebulous, because then it means that what works for me is what works for me. What works for you is what works for you.
Yeah, but
it doesn't mean that I never look into what works for you to see if some aspect of it, to whatever degree, can also work for me.
Right. So what you're describing to me then is not the practice of a martial arts per se. JKD is not the practice of a martial arts, or even let's go back to Bruce Lee, the fencing, the boxing, the Wing Chun, the Chinese boxing, his foundational styles. JKD is not the blending of those foundational styles either, right? Because everybody is trying to find what works for me, right? That's the JKD thinking. So JKD, what you're describing is actually a way or a process of thinking about how to get to combat. It's not combat itself.
No.
Correct me.
No. Okay. So the best book out there ever, I would say in content, but I would say definitely in title, is Inosano's book, Jeet Kune Do, The Art and Philosophy of Bruce Lee. That's the best title, because that's the answer. Define Jeet Kune Do. Jeet Kune Do is both Bruce Lee's combative art and martial art and martial philosophy.
All right.
That would be the best thing. So again, this is a story many people have heard. Bruce, what's the difference between hard style kung fu and soft style kung fu? Not two. So is Jeet Kune Do a way of looking at combat, but not a way of engaging in combat? No, it is both. Because the way you look at the combat governs the way you engage in the combat.
Right. But if it was, and this is just from me looking, like I said, from the outside, right? If it was that thing that is written in the book by Dan Inosanto, as you put it, if it's that way of thinking and that way of engaging in combat, then why do so many JKD practitioners look so different from each other?
Because they're separate individuals.
Yeah, but combat itself, right? They could have separate thought. That's the philosophy part of it. Combat itself, if it's coming from one source, should have identifiable similarities among its practitioners.
Well, maybe they're not identifiable to you, but they're identifiable to me. In fact, people are so identifiable to me. I can go, oh, that guy trained with Vunak. Right? I can go, oh, that guy trained with whoever. Oh, that guy trained with whoever.
Right, but look at how many. You're calling 6 different people who look 6 different ways, and based on how they teach their students, you can identify who taught them. But as far as one system with propagated where body types, of course, will execute things differently, but there is a through, like we always talk, a through core line that makes it recognizable for what the thing it is.
you can find that in JKD as well.
And what would
Because
that be?
because I can look at a bunch of people and go, Ted Wong, Ted Wong, Ted Wong, Ted
So
Wong.
what would
So
it be?
now
Not
I'm
Ted
talking about
Wong, not
one
Ted
person.
Wong's True Line
Now I'm
or
talking about one person, right? Now I'm talking about, so 6 different people, but I can look at all 6 of them and identify that they all come from a single individual. So that's 6 people from one person. Or I could look at 6 different instructors and identify one person from each of them. This is the thing, Ria, about Jeet Kune Do that makes it confusing at times.
right?
And
Yes,
again,
it's very confusing.
yes, and again, here's what it boils down to, right? Not just how much work has the individual put in, but how much work of high quality has the individual put in.
Right.
You see?
But okay.
So,
But
so to combat
mhm,
boxing as a
right.
combat method, different people look differently when they box.
But you could still tell it's boxing.
Right. So when somebody says this is a Jeet Kune Do demonstration, I can look at it and I can see what it is that they're trying to illustrate.
So what you're saying is it's only identifiable to somebody who's in JKD. Somebody from the outside will never be able to recognize it because the way we see it is everybody's different. Everybody does something different and everything is JKD. Now you're saying you could tell, and I believe that you can tell, but you're in it. Somebody who's outside looking in, trying to say, well, okay, you could tell that, oh, that's karate, that's taekwondo, oh, that's jujitsu, that's boxing.
Yeah.
To us, we can't tell what is JKD because everybody does something different.
Right. No, it's not because everybody does something different. It's because if you look in, I think it's this book, right?
Okay. Yeah.
If you look in this book, if I can't find it, I won't waste your time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But you'll hear Chris and Tim Tackett say that Jeet Kune Do can look like such and such. Jeet Kune Do can look like this or that or whatever. Yeah, because somebody might be attempting to illustrate an idea of Jeet Kune Do, and so they decide to use kickboxing to illustrate that idea. Another guy decides, no, I'm going to illustrate that idea.
yeah.
Instead of through kicking and punching, I'm going to illustrate that idea through grappling. Somebody might even go so far.
The same thing I said in the beginning, where it's an idea, it's a way of thinking to do something. It's not the actual doing of something.
No,
Because
it is the
you have
doing.
the idea of I'm going to use JKD in kickboxing, or I'm going to use JKD in boxing, or I'm going to use JKD in jiu-jitsu. Then it's not a combat thing. It's an approach to picking and choosing what
How
works
can
for you.
that not be a combat thing when we're talking about combat methods?
Right. Combat methods, but
Yeah.
not a combat system of its own. It's just a way of thinking of what combat system should I
No.
pick out to use for me.
No.
Because there's not a system that is JKD. It's
Of
a
course.
conglomeration of systems from
Okay,
every.
Ria,
Me looking at
it is both the art and the philosophy.
okay, so what is the art? That's what I'm trying to get at. What is the art of JKD? What is it?
You mean what do you train in?
Yes. What do you train in? This
Okay.
is JKD.
You train in empty hands and you train in weaponry.
Right. And what is the foundation for the empty hands?
The foundation.
weaponry is
I'm gonna give you my breakdown.
Yes,
Okay.
give me your breakdown.
Okay. So the foundation for empty hands training is to acquire skill in 4 approaches. You have to have skill in kicking. You have to have skill in punching. Kicking includes the use of the knee.
Mm-hmm.
Skill in punching includes the use of the elbow. Skill in what is called trapping by some people, right? And then skill in grappling.
Right. That's
That's
4 areas.
so the training is, you could say, intentionally general in scope, but the governing principle is acquiring skill in those 4 methods of empty-handed combat.
Right. So if I'm a beginner and I sign up for a JKD class and I'm going to learn empty hand, what is the thing that I'm going to learn on day 1?
Now you're in trouble, because if you go to a guy who, for whatever and whatever, he might start you with B. If you go to a guy who, for whatever reason, whatever and whatever, he might start with C.
Okay, yeah. Okay, let's say
another guy.
Let's pick
right?
one of those 4. Any one of those 4. Let's say I go to a guy and he's starting with one of those 4. Let's say he's going to do empty hands. What's the first? What's the thing I could expect in empty hand training? Not the kicking or the grappling or the punching. Let's say he decided first day we're going to work on punching. What can I expect in a JKD class? The first day.
I can't tell you. You can expect such and such. However,
well, if JKD is a art, right, there should be a certain expectation or a certain concrete exercise that I'm going to do on the first day.
One time, right? And this is a story in one of these Chris Kent. No, it's in one of Inosano's books, right? So this is the story.
Because I find you quiet over there.
Yeah. This one.
Huh?
You ever see me so quiet?
We don't need you.
Yeah. You ever see me so quiet?
I'm gonna treat you like Inosano treated me in Atlanta. I don't even know why you're here.
My popcorn is right here. I don't sleep when you get my popcorn.
He was like, I only need Ron. I don't need you. I don't even know why you're here. Ron is my boy.
Don't worry, I have my bit that will come.
Right?
Okay. I want to know if I go into a class.
So here's the story. Here's the story.
Like any practitioner, I'm going to train tomorrow.
Here's the story. Here's the story. The guy goes to train with Inosano. At the end of class, right? At the end of class, he says, "Oh, this was too much." And Inosano goes, "Well, why was it too much?" He goes, "Oh, you taught too many different things." He goes, "Well, what did I teach?" He goes, "Oh, you taught the jab, and then you taught the hook, and you taught the uppercut, and you taught the cross, and in where I come from, you just stick to one thing." Inosano laughed, right? Because he was teaching step and slide.
Okay.
He was teaching footwork.
Okay.
But he didn't say, okay, here's how we're going to do this. I'm going to teach you the step and slide footwork pattern. And all you do is the footwork pattern. No, he attached some other stuff to the footwork pattern for whatever reason. The emphasis, however, behind what he was teaching was the footwork pattern. And I would dare to say that in a Jeet Kune Do school run by a well-educated JKD person,
okay, yes,
class number 1 is footwork, fighting position and footwork, I would say. Okay. If it's run by a well-educated JKD person.
All right.
Fighting position and footwork.
Ask a question?
No, go ahead.
No.
You think I want to ask a question?
No. We do
mine is a crescendo. Mine is
I have more questions. I have more questions. I just don't want him to feel like
I'll jump in.
He has no questions to ask.
I'll jump in when I'm ready.
All right. So we're listening to.
Listen.
You can play that clip now.
Listen.
Yeah, listen.
You got to listen. Listen. Listen.
That's
Listen.
that's where
Listen.
that's where will jump in when it's time. That's why I gave you that clip to play, because I'll jump in.
So then, what you described, Dwight, from
Yeah.
a well-practiced JKD instructor
Yes.
going in to learn the art on the first day, where we are going to be working on footwork and on-guard positions,
Yes.
right? And I anticipate we work on that for a little while. And then in next class, they might switch to something different once we have the footwork and the patterns. What you're describing is a system.
Yeah.
It's a system, right?
I told you.
It,
The best title of any Jeet Kune Do book out there is The Art and Philosophy. There's a system to it. However, here's the thing. Not everybody's system is going to be the same.
right. Okay, but why is that then? If we're all learning JKD, why is everybody?
Because Bruce Lee emphasized the importance of individualism.
Yeah, Dwight.
Yeah.
Every karate instructor, every jujitsu instructor will have, each different instructor will have a different way of unfolding their class, right? Of delivering their class, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it becomes identifiable as the thing that it is. And I don't see that in JKD unless I'm in it, like you. For somebody on the outside, we can't just look at something and say, oh, that's a JKD practitioner. We can't, because to us, it doesn't look like any specific thing. Like it's like, this is a Taekwondo class. Oh,
Right.
we have several Taekwondo instructors. Each one might teach a different thing. First day, a Taekwondo instructor might teach you just how to balance, whereas another person might jump right into kicking or whatever, right? They have their own individual method of delivering that system. But in the end, you could, no matter which instructor you're under, you could identify the thing as Taekwondo.
Okay. Let me give you an example, right? So let's say in JKD footwork, there's step and slide, there's slide and step, there is push shuffle, right? Instructor A, Jeet Kune Do, might teach them in that order. Instructor B might teach push shuffle before he teaches step and slide. Instructor C might teach slide and step before he teaches push shuffle, before he teaches step and slide. All three of them, instructors A, B, and C, are all going to teach those three footwork patterns, but they are not going to they're not necessarily going to teach them in the exact order.
Okay.
Now, Shotokan karate instructor number 1, okay, teaches Heian Shodan as the first kata. Shotokan instructor number 2 teaches Heian Shodan as the first kata. Shotokan instructor number 3 teaches Heian Shodan as the first kata, right? Because they have to. That is something that to which Bruce Lee was not violently opposed, but he didn't relish that idea of conformity.
I could understand that. I mean, I could totally go with that plan. What I'm saying is, in the end, right, whether instructor A teaches a different order of things, the student is still learning all three things on the JKD.
Yes.
And let's say the student has learned all three things, and let's say those three things represent the entirety of the martial art itself for the sake of discussion. In the end, they should all look the same. They have these three elements, and they're identifiable as the three elements of JKD. But that's not what's happening. In the end, every student should know the same 3-foot shuffle plan, whatever it is.
When you say that's not what's happening, what do you mean?
Well, given your example, if instructor A teaches the shuffle before the step or whatever it is, and then instructor B teaches the step before the shuffle, and then the third one teaching something else before those two. In the end, the students of those three instructors will all have learned the same material.
Yes.
but in different orders. But they all learned the
Perhaps.
same material, right? Just the order was different in which it was taught to them.
Yes.
In the end, somebody from the outside should look at those students and say, oh, yes, that's the JKD footwork. Because even though they were taught in a different order,
Yeah.
they all know the same thing, and
Yeah.
therefore identifiable as a JKD student.
Yeah.
That's not what's happening. If we
Why do you say that?
because for me, looking on the outside, I've looked at several different JKD. If you were to pull up random,
Wait, did you look at random JKD people for a specific thing, or did you look at random JKD people for random things?
no, neither. I'm looking at any JKD practitioner to see if there's anything that is recognizable as a JKD that would identify them as a JKD student.
No.
Like you could look at a Taekwondo and identify them as a Taekwondo student, or you could
Yes.
look at right?
Yeah.
Well, when you look at JKD, even though you are saying they're learning the same things, maybe not in the same order, they're still not identifiable as Jeet Kune Do practitioners. And I'm trying to get to the why of that. Why is that happening?
Okay. When you say you can look at a Taekwondo person and see that it's Taekwondo, right? Is that because they're dressed in a Taekwondo uniform?
No, it's just the way that they throw their kicks. There's many things that identify them as Taekwondo practitioners versus a karateka kicking.
Well, see, I will disagree with you there, because if I watch a practitioner of Kyokushin karate, when he throws a spin kick and knocks the guy out, that looks like a Taekwondo kick to me.
Yeah, that's one kick. That's what I'm saying. You're taking one element of an entire thing and saying that looks just like Taekwondo. I'm not doing that. I'm looking at a fight. I'm looking at combat. I'm looking at two people working out together.
So when did you look at a combat example of somebody in Jeet Kune Do?
Well, there's very few combat examples, but there is practitioners doing different things with each other, against each other, and almost.
Oh, you mean
okay? So frequently, G will come up and say, "Hey, look at this." He's looking at something on YouTube. Hey, look at this. Oh, that is. It's like, why is that boxer throwing at that box? Oh, why is that karate? He will throw me, and I was like, what is that? And he said, oh, that's JKD, right? Because it's not identifiable to me. And I don't know, maybe it's my eyes are not trained to pick up the things. Maybe that could be it. But for somebody who's on the outside doing martial arts, you shouldn't have to be in something to be able to see it or to understand it. You should be able to. I didn't have to take karate or.
Well, this is okay. So this is what.
You have the other side to know that.
This is what you're not grasping.
Yes,
about
I'm
Jeet
not.
Kune Do. This is what you're not grasping about Jeet Kune Do. It is not identifiable to. It is not visually identifiable.
Then how could it? Okay, we're going in circles with this discussion, right?
No. It is not. Okay.
Identifiable.
Because here's why it's not visually identifiable. Because of Bruce Lee's way of thinking.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, his way of thinking.
Ultimately, a punch is just a punch. So a punch in Jeet Kune Do can come from where?
Well, this is what I'm saying. If it's an art, it should have a specific origin. It should either be a Chinese boxing, if that's what he's doing, or maybe he modified the Chinese boxing punch with a fencing move. But if you're just standing still and you're going to throw a punch, right? If you're in a particular way of doing something like a karateka, you go down in your stance and you have it on your hip, you know immediately that's a traditional Japanese style. One of the karate systems, right?
Yeah.
Because the art is identifiable by the way the practitioner delivers that punch.
So you will not see a Jeet Kune Do practitioner drop into a karate stance. Right?
Hopefully.
You won't see
that. I don't know, but hopefully.
No, you won't see that because then he or she would have a hard time explaining how the hell that came about. However, a Jeet Kune Do punch is a punch that delivers, that does what I'm trying to remember a quote, right? It's a punch. A Jeet Kune Do punch is a punch that does its job. It delivers terrible damage, right? It hits its mark.
Damage mark. Go ahead.
Right? It hits its mark. I can't remember the thing, right? A Jeet Kune Do punch is a punch that does the job that it is supposed to do.
Right. So now we come to the crux of the matter. A JKD practitioner, first day in a JKD class. How are they learning to do that?
So there will be footwork. There will be the idea of keeping the elbows in. There will be the idea of that if it's the straight lead, there will be the idea of straight punching. And at one time, there was the idea of hitting with the 3 bottom knuckles in a vertical fist. However, over time, there are people who have changed that to a diagonal fist. And there are even people who have changed that to a horizontal fist. And there are even people who have changed it to hit him with the 2 knuckles instead of the 3 bottom. The top 2 instead of the 3 bottom. In Bruce Lee's day, there was the 3 bottom and the vertical because, I guess, of his Wing Chun influence.
Right. So
but over time, that has changed because the most important thing about a Jeet Kune Do punch is that it does the job that it is supposed to do. So there is no restriction on it must be this, it must be that. The only compulsory factor is that it must do the job that it was designed for.
How is the practitioner going to learn how to get it to do the job without specifics?
But there are specifics. I just gave you specifics.
Yeah, you said
footwork.
You said it must hit the target.
That's accuracy.
Right. It must you could use the bottom 3 knuckles, right?
Yes.
But it's been modified, so maybe there's variations of that.
So yeah, so right, so that's placement.
Okay, so if I was to get up, teach me to throw a JKD straight jump. Go ahead. You want me to do the front or the back? Because I'm not picking up what you're putting down, so I'm better at the physicalities of it. Because I clearly not understand what you're saying, right? Because you're saying it does certain things, but you're not giving me how. So I want to see the how it.
Okay. So okay. So you throw. Okay. So get into your idea of a fighting stance.
Okay, but I'm a beginner, right? So this.
I know. Okay. All right. So let's not. Okay. So I'm gonna modify your fighting stance, young lady. So instead of doing that, that's what they call a horse stance. Okay. So instead, I want you to come out of that and put your right foot in front of your left foot.
Okay.
Like if you were like a normal step.
Okay, right.
Right? Okay. All right. So now that divide your body in half, right? Divide your body in half using your forehead. Yeah. So put your right hand on the right side of that center line, as we call it. Okay. Put your left hand on the left side of that center line. Now bring your fists both so that they're in line with your nose, and the right hand is in front because you have your right foot forward. The right hand is in front of the left hand.
Right.
Okay. Now drop your right hand a little bit under, not too far. Okay. And tuck your chin down. That's the sign of a fighter.
You don't get to cheat. You don't get to cheat. Don't let me talk now.
Okay, no, because remember, right? Remember.
I'm out. Okay.
Remember, Jeet Kune Do uses all methods and is bound by none.
Oh boy, don't stop me. Mark and Roy and everybody on here, they don't want to talk with me here. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, all right. So now, as simply as you can, just extend your elbow and stay in a straight line. No, go back to where your starting position. So don't turn your fist over or anything.
Okay.
Just push. Yeah. But now, so what you're doing is you're putting it down away from the center. Pull it back in front of your, extend it again. Leave it extended. Now just swing it to the center line so that the right fist, that's went too far. Yeah. Okay, so now can you bend your elbow and pull it back on that line? Now push it forward on that line again. It went off to the side. Yeah, pull it back, push it forward, pull it back, push it forward. Okay, that's where we would start.
Right.
That's an idea of where we would start.
Right. So there's
Right.
something. So there's definitely something specific that they would start with.
Yes.
In terms of how you want them to punch. But not every instructor will do this.
Every instructor won't use the same words that I used.
But the formation of the
I can't see her.
jab will be the same.
Gee, watch the camera.
Yeah.
Yeah, the formation
Okay,
of
right.
the straight jab will be the same. Like if I in your class, that is what I could expect. But let's say I went to a different JKD practitioner who's showing me a JKD straight jab for the first day. Would it be the same?
Same in terms of language?
What I am doing, not language, what I am doing, the physicalities of it that says this is a JKD straight jab.
They should be similar, but they probably won't be identical. But they should be very, very, very close in nature.
Okay. But yeah. I mean, it should. Should is the key word, right? Should is the key word.
Again.
But that's not what we're seeing.
Okay. So wait, so you keep saying that's not what we see as outsiders.
No.
Right? Okay. But here's the thing. I don't know who and what it is you're seeing.
Right. To be fair, that's true.
Right?
You can see what
I don't know who and what it is that you're seeing. Now, you have to, here's something to contemplate. During Bruce Lee's lifetime, to a certain degree, right, there was control over JKD. Right? After Bruce Lee died, there became less and less control over JKD. So a guy who watched all the movies more than once, right? And had a seamstress in Barbados make a black tracksuit or a yellow tracksuit with black stripes, okay? He could start spreading the word that he was teaching Bruce Lee style. He had watched the movies, he had talent, and he could do what everybody saw Bruce Lee do on film. And he looked pretty good doing it. So a guy in the third world, to paraphrase our friend Bob Landers, right? So you could have that. So you have a guy in Barbados, he's teaching Bruce Lee's art.
Mm-hmm.
Another guy somewhere else, some other part of the world, does that too. So there was no control over it. Now, it is only...
That's right. Right, we froze.
You're frozen.
You're frozen. Are we froze?
No.
Okay, you're frozen.
So then you're frozen on your end.
I am?
Maybe it's on our end.
All right,
Since
give it a second. Give it a second and see if it comes back. If not, I will hit refresh because it looks fine on my part.
Oh, maybe it's our side then.
Yeah.
Ask.
Yeah,
Okay, so ask
it's our
somebody
end,
on.
Yeah, our end froze up. Should we come back on?
Wait, no, because I don't see that for me yet. Let's see if anybody says in the comments who's frozen and who's not.
Yeah.
So anybody who's listening in, Rob Roy, okay, you're gone. So, okay, so let me get them back in, or wait for them to bring themselves back in. All right, I hope you guys are having a good time with this. I don't know if there's any time restrictions for them. If there aren't, then I think what we'll do is go into the comments and see if there's anything that G and Ria want to address. But give me a second to get them back in. All right. Thanks, Steve. Thanks, Ron Reagan. All right. Well, I'll just wait for them to come back in. In the meantime, right, I will go through the comments myself. All right. So let me scroll back here. Is Bob Landers on here? Does anybody know? Since we just called his name. Okay. Don't drag is forever engraved on my mind. Good one, Bill. Right. Mark Black says the person that brought the elephant. Oh man, that was a discussion from hours ago. Right. No, I'm kidding. Tim Estrada. Okay. All right. Okay. They should be back. Okay.
Everything just froze.
Froze, yeah.
Strange.
Wow. All right.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. So now we gotta go through that gear thing again and flip you around.
Flip us back around. Go right there.
So here,
Right.
take off mirror. There
Yeah.
it is.
Yep. There you go.
Okay. Yes.
You want to remove this source? Remove?
No. Just
Okay, yeah,
cancel,
okay.
just cancel.
No, just stay there. Right.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Does anybody know if a particular Fox News journalist is on? This?
Would she be on the side comments?
Nah, she may not.
No.
She said she was going to be on, or maybe she's on Facebook. She's on Facebook.
Never mind.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So
We got some good questions here, though. Come into the air. We got.
Okay. So that's what I just said while you were gone. That if there's no time restrictions on your end,
Yeah, we're fine.
Well,
we can go through the comments if you want. Right?
You want to take a break and go through some of the comments?
Hell no.
Oh,
Okay.
not yet.
So-
not
no,
yet.
no, break.
not
I mean,
yet.
like.
Not yet.
Oh well, let Dwight
Not
control
yet,
the comments.
not yet. We still working through the
Yeah.
system.
Yeah, we're
We're gonna get to some of these comments. They're good.
we're still working through the lead punch, right?
Yeah.
We're
Okay,
working
good.
through
Yeah.
the system.
But I want to come to some of these
Okay.
comments by Mark, by Roy.
Hey,
Hold on a second.
by Albert.
hey! Eat your popcorn. All right. Okay. Stay to the
Alex, all
side.
these people.
No.
Mark Stewart, Rob
No.
Roy. Oh yeah. Let's go.
No.
I'm ready.
Okay,
Stay to the side.
You
Stay
wanna
to
go
the
to-
side
Listen.
and do this.
Listen.
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 Everybody doesn't know I
Listen.
gave you that
Listen.
run. Go ahead.
Listen.
Not
Listen.
probably playing it to his advantage.
He's playing it to his advantage. Not telling people that I gave him that.
Because JKD principle, absorb what is useful. My God, you ain't learned that yet?
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
I'm glad you said that
Okay,
because
wait.
you're saying the great JKD principle
All right,
is
let's go
absorb.
back. We're trying to keep a true line going
What-
here.
what-
Before I talk.
Hold on. No, you're
ahead.
gonna.
Yeah.
I know you want to get
True
to
line.
this.
No, I'm
One
good.
more
I'm good.
question
I'm
you
just-
ask him.
No, I'm good. No. Go.
Okay.
She said she feel like it's going in circles. I said, well, straighten it out. Tell Dwight.
No.
Tell Dwight.
It's
Right.
circling some, but I'm picking up some of what he's saying, right? So if Bruce Lee saying absorb what is useful,
No, Bruce
means
Lee
that
didn't say
somebody
that.
gave it up. Bruce Lee didn't say absorb what is useful.
No.
Okay, but is that his philosophy?
We can infer that was something with which he would agree. But
Okay,
but you cannot truthfully ascribe
that to him.
the phrase itself to him. No.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. But saying that, I've seen that you've said that and you said something that he might agree with. Absorb what is useful means somebody's putting out useful information, right? And what you've described to me sounds like you may have a specific way of teaching a lead straight jab to a beginner on one day, but your way of teaching that is going to be different, perhaps with another JKD instructor. Did I understand that correctly?
Yeah, yeah.
It will be different for another JKD instructor.
Okay, I can't say it will be, but I wouldn't be surprised if
If it is.
if he uses different terminology, or if he uses a different approach to get you to put your hands in a particular position or whatever, you know.
So do you think then that?
So, for example, remember when you dropped into the horse stance, right? And you put your two hands on the hip, right?
Mhm, mhm.
A Jeet Kune Do instructor in a private lesson might let you do that for a while, right? And then might walk up to you in that position and show you the defects in that horse stance, and then change your position. I immediately changed your position. Another guy might have had you stay there for a while.
Yeah, but I mean, we're talking about mechanics, right? I talking about the specifics.
Yeah.
Specifics that drive a punch. Specifics that drive, because a straight jab or a right cross have specifics that make it what it is.
Yes.
A right cross or a straight jab.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Now it might have some variations in terms of where you're landing, what weapons you're using, depending on the style you're doing. But there's fundamental laws that govern those things.
Right. And
if
Jeet Kune Do will not ignore those laws.
No, they may not. But if they're not specifically taught,
like
how is this student
yes.
going to know?
Like I could see, I'll speak one and then I'll let her keep going. Across the board, Dwight, no one knows how to throw a right cross or a jab properly.
Nobody in okay, so these are so is that an absolute?
From everything I have seen, I've
Okay.
punched in the top JKD people, I've punched in from the beginning when it started. No one has ever shot a jab or a right cross properly. And at the end of this, we will go through the 10 things
Maybe,
that...
I don't know if it's 10, it might be more.
It might be
things
more.
we
But
forget.
we're gonna just go up to 10 things that are required just to throw a cross.
A right cross or left cross. So.
But anyway, we'll come back to that. Let her keep going.
So
Yeah.
I mean, I'm saying without that specificity in teaching a beginner, and you know the importance of beginners, especially if you're getting a clean slate, someone who's never done anything before. If you mess them up from the beginning, their defaults are going to be the bane of their existence.
So okay, so your plural conclusion from what you have seen is that Jeet Kune Do does not teach the specifics of how to throw a proper punch.
That's him. I don't know, because I haven't really looked like he's looked through hundreds of files. I haven't done that. I can't say absolutely. That's my observation. I can say I've seen it, that people don't seem to know what they're doing, but I don't know if that applies every single one of them. I don't know everybody in the JKD world. I don't know every practitioner. What's out there is what's out there, and if there's hundreds of tapes out there that you could look at, and he is making the claim, then his observation. But what I'm saying is, if it's vague, if your way of teaching a straight jab is different to another practitioner who might teach the same JKD straight jab, which is different to another instructor who might teach the same JKD straight jab, then there's a vagueness to the instruction of teaching a straight jab.
No, because we're different doesn't mean that any of us are vague.
Well, vague if you're not giving them the specificity.
But we didn't talk about that. We didn't talk about that.
That's
That is not something that we address.
I wanted something specific. That's why I did this. I wanted a specific way to start on a straight jab. Now, if your way of doing it is this, and someone else doesn't say the same things, or doesn't do the same things, or don't emphasize the same things.
No, but I told you, he might let you, for whatever reason, stay in the horse stance.
No, we're not talking about horse stance. We're talking about eventually.
But listen to what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He might let you stay in the horse stance, because in trying to convey a lesson to you, right? He wants you to appreciate the difference between the classical way and the non-classical way of Jeet Kune Do. It's not that he's not going to end up
Well,
teaching you.
We're talking about end up
We're
now.
talking about end up.
Let's say this beginner. Let's transition from beginning to you learn everything you need to know about a straight jab.
Right.
This person has been in the dojo a month. They know everything that they need to do in a straight jab. Will your student after 1 month be in the same place as another instructor student after 1 month in terms of understanding what a straight jab entails?
No.
That's what I mean by
But that's what-
specificity.
No. But here's why. Here's why. Because somebody else's student might not have experienced the phenomenon of no drag when you hit.
Stop cheating.
No. This is important.
Okay,
This
no.
is important.
Okay, no. This to me now.
This is
But
important.
he has more questions.
But it's okay.
But
you go through.
let me just say my little piece before we come back to her. This, to me, is where the issue with Jeet Kune Do lies. You have got to be specific. I don't care. I do not care whether you add 10 different styles. I don't care if one student, wait. I don't care if one student comes in and learns jujitsu.
Nope.
Yeah,
Nope.
but first or
Nope.
second.
Nope. No. You're heading down the wrong path.
No, we talk about the specifics of us. Okay.
You're heading down the wrong path.
No, but I'm coming back to the specifics.
Okay, go back to the specifics.
Right?
Okay.
All I'm saying is that you must have objective specifics on how to throw a jab or a cross. If that is what Jeet Kune Do is teaching at some point.
Well, where do you get that? Where do you get the idea that there are no specifics?
I don't see it anywhere. Anybody that I've looked at, anybody, Dwight. Now, if I
guarantee you,
100 and there are 300 out there, maybe one of them are doing it right, then I'm wrong. But so far, I have come across no one that can even throw a cross right or understands the 10 to 12 parts of a cross. Just a cross.
well, the 10 to 12 parts, right? So when we get to those 10 to 12 parts, I'll let you know how many of them I have heard expressed thusly and how many I haven't. See, because
Yes.
because
Listen, it's the teaching of it, Dwight.
It's not the knowing that they have
Yes.
to do it. It's the teaching of it.
But see, this is the thing. Okay, listen to me, right? Your way of teaching the cross might not be identical to the Jeet Kune Do way of teaching the cross. And because they're not identical, and because you don't see or hear JKD people doing it the way you do it, doesn't mean that they don't have specifics.
Oh, no, it doesn't mean that at all. And in fact,
Okay.
it's not even a Jeet Kune Do problem. It's a problem even in boxing today. It's not right.
Well,
but I'm
okay.
just saying that in Jeet Kune Do,
Now,
if
all
they're
right.
going to teach it, somebody
Okay, so listen to this, right?
teach it right.
So listen to this. You see what you just said? That it's not just in Jeet Kune Do. You see it in boxing also?
Yes.
You know that there's a certain generation of people are the ones that you're seeing, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
But
And
Yeah.
you know that generation of people are not old school.
But Dwight, in all fairness to me, I went back. I went way back, like way back, as far back as I can go and find footage. But anyway, you can come back to your thing now.
Okay, so that is where we're getting at, right? It's JKD could say, these are the things we want this punch to do. We agree that it should do this and this and this and this. We agree to the target. We agree it should have some power behind it. Have the result at once. We agree that it should do certain things. But saying it and saying this is the philosophy behind the punch, and without saying the how, is a big issue.
It's huge.
But you're assuming are you assuming that there's no how ever taught?
Well, I don't see it. That's the thing. I gave you the opportunity to give me a lesson in a straight jab.
Yeah.
And I don't see All
But Ria, that's a video lesson. That's like a Zoom online tutorial thing for 2 minutes, which is different from if I'm in the room with you, which is different from if it's just me and you in a private session and I have a full view
And
and
here's
I
the
can
thing,
this
Dwight.
and I can this and I can the
And
next.
here's the thing, Dwight. I have no doubt that you could probably teach an amazing straight jab. What I'm saying is the style of JKD, there should be a certain number, a certain volume of students that are coming out that understand that. Understand the mechanics of it, understand the power of it, understand how you're going to make this thing work.
Yeah,
how
I
you're going to achieve the end result that it says.
I think that y'all are influenced by what you see online, and you're thinking, well, if there's so many doing it so badly, this must be all of them.
I don't YouTube surf, so I can't say that. I can just say from what I have seen, and believe me, we've seen quite a few.
Yeah,
And we've seen some. I wouldn't go into that, but what I'm saying
yeah.
is,
Okay,
top
look,
people,
I am
top
not
people
I am
coming
not going to I am not going to disagree with you that there's a lot of bad stuff out there that has the name or the term Jeet Kune Do attached to it.
Listen, we've
Okay.
had top practitioners that bear the representation of JKD throwing ineffective punches. Let's just say it that way, right?
But when you say top JKD practitioners, you mean in front of you or you're
Yes.
talking?
We've seen some in front of us. Can't deny that.
We're not going to mention names.
Well,
Right? We've also
okay.
seen. We've also been around the
was
JKD.
this okay? Just so I understand,
Yes,
right?
we've been around the JKD.
Just so I understand,
We've seen-
was this recently a different century?
It could be. It could be. I mean, across the centuries. Let's put it that way, because it's not just
Right.
one. It's not
Yeah.
just one, right?
Yeah.
So that's what we mean by something specific. You're spending, okay, the average lifespan of a human being and the number of prime years they have within that lifespan. You really have a very short time to be proficient. After 30 years, 40 years, 20 years, even 5 years, you should have some level of proficiency. If a style is making these claims, then after, I give you 10 years, after 10 years, you should have a level of proficiency, efficiency. When you throw that straight jab, it shows I've studied something for 20 years and this is the end result. But after 20 years, to not be able to throw a straight jab properly,
Well, my dear,
then it's not the instructor.
well, my dear, if they started out with an incorrect premise, guess what?
Yes. And that is the gist of the conversation, Dwight.
Yeah.
That you have to have, as much as Jeet Kune Do wants to deny this, you have to have an objective world to start from. Somewhere.
Hold on. What makes you say that Jeet Kune Do wants to deny this? What do you mean by that?
Just by all of this, just by all of the sayings that we always read from everybody, including you know who. I mean, we've seen it, right? There's no using no way as the way.
No way as the way. Okay.
We can go on and on about that.
All right. Look,
we're not going into philosophy.
We're not going into philosophy yet.
No.
We're going to get into the specifics.
Yeah.
Let's solve the problem of this.
I think what you're talking
Why
about,
are so many
right?
people so after 20 years or 30 years not efficient in at least a straight jab? That's
Because
a
of
specific
because
thing.
because of the watering down.
But the watering down could only come from the instructors. If you're under somebody who's instructing you, that's why I say if you have one instructor teaching ABC and they don't teach in CBA and they don't teach in BCA, it should not make a difference.
You don't. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Let me ask you this, right? Let me ask you this. What do you know about the worldwide spread of Jeet Kune Do? How was it conducted?
Well, you have told us, and I can only go by what you have told us.
Okay.
You have told us that it really took off, to use your word, it really took off when they started doing this seminar thing.
There you go.
Right?
There you go.
But
so now, picture this, right? Picture this. Instructor flies in for a weekend seminar, leaves. They might not see him for another year.
Yeah.
Right?
Mhm.
And in the early days, that's how it was until there was a thing called the instructor conference or instructor camp or what have you. And then people now can see, right, more than once a year. In any case, it is not the same thing, right, as group of students that come to you 2, 3, 4, 5 times a week, and you are on top of them. And if one little finger is out of position,
That's right.
got to fix that.
That's right.
That is not how Jeet Kune Do spread. So understand this. If the people who were put in charge were not people who were on the receiving end of week in, day out, week in, week out,
Yes.
month in, month out,
Yes.
year in, year out of on top of you instruction,
Yes.
face to face,
Yeah.
the quality
Yes.
is not going to be as high.
Okay. So now
It's not
answer
art
this
anymore.
question for me then.
Okay.
It's not art.
So are you saying, so
Wait, you didn't understand what I was saying?
no.
He's-
No,
he's-
you know what?
he's
You
saying-
go ahead.
He's
I'm gonna
saying
come
it
back to that.
to you to make sure he understands
Yeah,
it
no, so
correctly.
no, you go ahead because you wanted to segue
No,
into that.
no.
Right?
Oh, no.
Right?
I want to know.
No, yes, go ahead.
Let's see how much time
Yes,
we have.
no, yeah.
Have
go
time?
ahead, yeah.
What do you mean? Wait,
I don't want
you gonna run out? You gonna run out of space on your computer or something?
No, I don't want
You
to.
don't have it plugged in? You gonna run out of battery?
We ran out of battery already, but
Go ahead.
Jamie ain't even show up yet. We can't stop
Because
till
we're getting
Jamie
up
show
on
up.
our feet just now, eh? We're gonna be on our feet just now, right? All right, go ahead.
then what you are describing is not an art, Dwight. It's not an art.
It's not an art.
It's not the mastering of anything. If people are learning this thing on a weekend stint
No.
and go home and come back,
No.
but then
Yeah.
and then passing on limited knowledge.
Here's why-
because they
here's
spent
why-
a weekend somewhere. and
Here's-
they
here's
pass
why-
that on. That's
Here's
not
why I will disagree with you.
okay.
Right?
Fair enough.
It's because remember I said people underestimate the importance of the individual in Jeet Kune Do. See, the guy who is on the receiving end of that once a year, twice a year, 3 times a year instruction, but who has been granted instructorship, right, under whichever Jeet Kune Do organization it is incumbent on him, right, not just to be lackadaisical in what he's doing. It's incumbent on him to drill down and whatever sources it is that he can find to develop his own awesome JKD straight lead and teach it.
That's where we disagree.
Well, that's why we disagree.
We definitely disagree on that because no one can.
No,
take
you don't. No, you
three-
don't.
no
No, you
one
don't.
can take
You
3
do
weekends.
not. You no. I
And
said.
then say they know.
I said it is incumbent on that guy. You do not disagree with that. You agree it is incumbent on that guy.
No, I disagree.
Yes,
that
you do.
I disagree that he's able to then teach a proper straight jab if he's only
But
doing
that's
it.
not what I was saying.
But hold on. You said the guy went to 3 seminars a year,
Mm-hmm.
instructorship,
Mm-hmm.
3 seminars a year, and
Mm-hmm.
now he's going back to teach the straight jab,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
If that's his only source of information,
But that's not what I said. I said it is incumbent on that guy to study all the ways that he can find.
okay. Here is the thing. Here is the thing. You could look at something in a book. You could read something in a book. This has happened to him.
Mm-hmm.
You come out, you're thinking, this is going to be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
This should look like X, Y, and Z. And
Mhm.
then you go and you see it in real life, and it's
Mhm.
nothing like you thought it would be.
True.
Nothing, because it's not real live instruction.
So
It's
now you got to.
information on a page. Unless
So now you got to
have
go look somewhere else.
person to translate the information on the page,
Right.
like the owner of the elephant, who can say, no, actually, that's not a spear. It
Right.
might be like a spear and touch like a spear, but it's not a spear. Unless you have that person that could say, this piece of information you see on a page should actually be done like this. This is the beauty of reading, right? You use the imagination to fill out or to make those pictures in your mind to something that you could only read on a page.
Yeah.
But what you envision might be totally different when you see it, and that has happened to us several times. So you cannot do incumbent, yes, to be knowledgeable, but the actual learning of something like combat cannot be done 3 weekend seminars for the year and then go home and read. It's not going to happen.
But Ria, I didn't say go home and read. I said it is incumbent on this guy to do everything that he can.
That can only happen, Dwight, after you reach a certain level of proficiency. It cannot happen before then. And if you don't know the basic fundamental laws that govern a straight jab or a right cross, and you've been there 10 years, and now you're taking weekend seminars, and you're going home and practicing with your buddies or whatever, and you have your book, and you form a little JKD group because there's nobody around. So you're making a group, and I'm not talking about you, I'm talking about other practitioners that we've encountered that you might be aware of, who do this. There is no proficiency, none.
Okay. Well.
Oh, wait. Del, we will come to you. Del, see, I was hoping they could answer questions. Del, we're coming. Don't worry.
So what if the guy who leads the group goes to 3 seminars a year and finds a local boxing coach and
then
studies with him?
JKD, then it's boxing and JKD.
Because he knows, right, that boxing plays a part. So now he's able to study with this boxing coach and hear what the boxing coach says about throwing the jab. And then he's able to take that information and that practice and blend it with what he has been taught about the JKD straight lead. Now he's doing what he can.
You're throwing out hypotheticals. There's always going to be what if this and what if that. Those are hypotheticals, right? Reality is, the grounded reality is of what we see visually, the evidence that's in front of our face, not the hypothetical, the evidentiary things that we see with our own eyes and elsewhere, right? In putting this style out.
Right.
Does not bear the proof that that is happening.
Because Ria, those are particular individuals. They didn't do what has to be done.
So
So they end up looking bad.
After 40 years, you can't throw a straight jab.
You can't throw a straight jab to the standards of
to meet the objectives of JKD.
Some people.
No, to meet the objectives of JKD. They can't throw a straight jab that meets its target. They can't throw a straight jab that has the power. They can't throw a straight jab that closes the distance. There's many things. I'm telling you, the consequences of leaving any one of those things out are going to come back to bite you. If you don't know the specifics of throwing a straight jab and any one of those elements are left out, it will come. The consequences of omitting that or forgetting that or not having it to begin with is going to come back to bite you.
No.
That's the reality. That's not my opinion.
No.
That's the reality of being in combat.
No. The consequences, right, of that are not going to come back and bite you if the person on the receiving end don't know. It is only if it is somebody who knows what is what. Right? Somebody who has a high combat IQ and you throw that stupid jab at them.
Yes.
Right? Now you're going to suffer for it. But if you throw that stupid...
Let me tell you something. A street fighter, an experienced street fighter will take anybody out like that if they don't...
That is a person with high combat IQ.
Right.
Right.
And what are we doing martial arts for if not for self-defense and street fights and street
high
wars?
combat
It's
IQ.
martial arts. It's war.
Ask the guy next to you what I have told him about why people do martial arts these days. Don't ask me. Ask the guy next to no. Tell her. No. Tell her what I told you. Why they do it. Why they do it.
I'm in denial. I will not say, because every now and then he's right and I have to believe him. And say, he's right all the time.
If you cannot protect yourself in martial war, don't call it a martial art, right?
Thank you, Steve.
And if you can't do it after 10 years, even 5 years, or, even 5 years, I'm giving you even 5 years, but I'm gracing you with 5 extra years of 10 years, then
Ria.
if it's not an art, something is
Ria.
definitely wrong.
Ria.
Okay.
Everybody's experience, right, in, around, outside of JKD is not the same. And that is why you have the disparity of levels of ability and understanding.
Okay.
So you could see that.
My thing
So you
is,
could see that. Okay.
My thing is, there's a lot of.
I go to a lot of seminars,
No, I'm separating this. This is just an opinion. This is not a fact. The other things I was talking about, having the proper specifics about shooting a punch because your life will depend on it, that's a fact. That's not an opinion. This is my opinion now, right?
Mm-hmm.
If a JKD practitioner is only concerned about the abstract thinking of the style, it's supposed to meet its mark. It's supposed to have certain amount of power. Those are abstract thoughts. That's abstract.
Yes.
How you do that?
Thank you, Michael.
How you do that? How you accomplish that is concrete.
Yes.
If you do the wrong thing,
Yes.
if you do the wrong thing concretely,
Yes.
then you'll be concretely wrong.
Wrong.
Okay.
All the time.
Right?
So if you ever encounter a JKD practitioner who says to you, "Oh, well, in developing my jab, see, what I would kind of, I would look to the universe, right, to kind of give me the grasp of, in other words, if you ask a Jeet Kune Do practitioner about the straight lead and they give you a Harris word salad, stop.
Yeah, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about
That abstract. If they get
objective.
real abstract with you and cannot give you anything concrete, you are now dealing with a so-called JKD practitioner.
No, well, all martial arts, whether it's boxing, whether it's JKD, no matter the style, right, begins as an abstract thought. We want to achieve X, Y, and Z, right?
Yeah.
We want to achieve this.
Yeah.
How you do it is very important.
Yes.
Now, if their how in achieving go back to the right cross, if their how in a right cross is completely wrong, but they're practicing it, that's a concrete thing, right? They translated the abstract thought to a concrete practice, right?
Yeah.
And they're doing it incorrectly, or they haven't been given the specifics that we were just discussing. You must have specifics in order to throw a proper straight jab. Let's say they have left out a few of those specifics, but they might have a general idea. I want to keep it close to my face because they're going to come. I mean, you have some idea of what it should be, but you don't have the elements to cover all the objectives of what JKD says it should do. Then you come away after a number of years still not being able to throw an effective punch.
Yeah.
And that seems to be rampant, given a lot of styles have that. But I'm saying JKD is Bruce Lee the legend, right? Bruce Lee the legend with everything. Hold on. And the expectation is you would at least have a basic punch in your back pocket. That you could pull out and use, right?
Why is that the expectation?
Hold on. So can the approach that JKD is using right now, the approach that you just told me, can that approach be held accountable for the way some fundamental laws in combat is just being completely ignored?
Well,
If you say the approach is up to the individual, 3 seminars a year, read up, get a group together and practice, go to another martial arts style way, whatever, pick up what you can or whatever. If you want to go to the boxing gym, do that. If you're saying that's the approach generally, but I'm sure that's not systematically, because obviously everybody will have their own different approach now. If we're just doing weekend seminars 3 times a week and then going home to be vigilant in our practice, but we only have 6 days of instruction for the entire year, then can that be blamed for what we're seeing? Is the approach to JKD accountable for the way that it has now unfolded? And I wouldn't even call it an art anymore if the art doesn't hold true to fundamental laws.
I think, and I've said this many times before, I think that the seminar phenomenon had a deleterious effect on the quality. Yeah.
On the quality.
Yeah. Overall.
But not.
How did you just say that?
He said the seminar has had a detrimental effect on the quality of JKD.
Okay.
Let me ask you this.
Because
let me ask you this.
Like a couple to me.
Okay. Listen to this.
Okay.
Imagine if G had become a seminar instructor, flying all over the world.
Me?
You.
Oh, okay, right.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
This cannot be taught in seminars.
Okay, no, wait. I think I know where he's going. And I have the answer for this. I have the answer for this, but go ahead.
Right? Okay.
Go.
So here's what it's not even a question anymore, because I know the answer too, right? Because I know the answer too, right?
Okay.
Here's what would have happened. Okay. So he goes to one country. Well, first of all, the guy, right? Let's say that Trinidad was the base. The guy would have had to come to Trinidad and spend a month, right? In Trinidad.
I'm seeing you, Albert. I'll answer that.
Okay. And spend a month in Trinidad before he could go back to his country with permission to show some stuff.
Nope.
Wait. Let me make up my own little story.
Okay.
Yeah, make up.
Okay. Let me make up my own little story, right? And then it would take 5 years. Okay? It would take 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
But within those 5 years, there would have been a specific amount of times that he would have, whether G came to him or he came back or whatever.
Absolutely.
Right? Now, here's the thing, right?
Yes.
Every time. But let's say that he brings G to his country for the seminar.
Yes.
Right? There's going to be the seminar for the students.
Yes.
And then there's going to be the private sessions with that group leader.
That's right.
Okay? And there's also going to be observation of that guy teaching.
That's right.
Okay?
Boy, this sounds familiar, but go ahead.
Okay? Now, when that guy finger, right? 2 millimeters out of place.
That's right.
Upside the head. Right? Not only that, here's the threat. You keep doing it that way, and I'm taking away your permission, right, to represent me in this art.
Yes, Albert, I'm going to come to you.
Okay?
Yes, go ahead.
That would have been a different seminar setup.
Okay.
If it had been you.
Okay.
There was nothing like that.
Okay. So you just answered our question.
I told you I would.
Answered our.
That was the whole purpose of this reverse dialogue.
Which was, I don't care what anybody says, right? The proof at the end of Albert said something. I just want to touch on one thing Albert said here because it concerns us. Albert, let me tell you something right now. We love Dwight. We do not believe that martial arts should be discussed. It's like Shakespeare. It's got to be on its feet. And if we had our way, we would all be in the same room, or I would be wherever you guys want to send me, and I will show you how it's done. But anyway, back to what I was saying.
Did you jump to the comments before we agreed to jump to the comments?
I just had to get, because I want to answer more
discipline.
about it. But anyway,
No discipline.
Albert looks interested. So you answered our question. I don't care what anybody says, Dwight. The proof is in taken from the abstract and the physical thing. It's like, there's a certain party. There's a certain party running. I'm not going to say who it is. And it's like they implement a policy and all these things they have to do. And when the shit ain't working, it's like, we're not doing enough of it. No, it's not that you're not doing enough of it. The policy you have implemented is not working.
Okay,
You need to get rid of it.
Okay, now.
So we have agreed
Look
that
in the comments
there is a method, but nobody right now is teaching somebody how to throw a proper right cross or a proper jab.
I would say, G, look in the comments.
You go on, I can't see. So
Yes, right?
You can't see it?
I mean, there's a lot.
There's a lot of
There's a lot.
Scroll down to the bottom.
To the bottom.
The last one.
Oh, Jamie. I'm late. Our Fox reporter is here.
She's not here to report anything. She's
That's right.
individual.
Nobody say that.
Private
She's
individual.
a private individual. That's right. Hi, baby. Love you, hon. Love you. Anyway, so I think we're on the same page, right?
Duh.
Thank you, Paul. It is an excellent example, Paul. Thank you.
All right. Okay. So, all right. So where are we? I forget.
So,
now.
Wait.
we
go back to the original
point
question.
is that
Hold on.
the point is no.
Can the approach?
We got
Can
to.
the approach
We have to get to a
be held
point.
responsible
We have
for
to get
the
to
end?
a point, literally, before we move on.
Okay. Can the approach be held responsible for the end result?
Yes. Can the approach that has happened
To JKD.
be blamed for the
held
result, be held responsible for the
responsible for the
current
result.
result of what we're seeing?
The
Yes.
people are ignoring
Yes.
certain fundamental
Yes.
laws of-
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So what can you do?
Because people underestimate the importance of individualism in JKD.
Say that again. Say that again.
People underestimate the importance of individualism in JKD.
Okay. I think that you're going to have to seriously sit down one day and think about that, Dwight.
Okay.
I've told you guys this example more than once. I'm going to give you two examples this time. The earth spins around the sun at 67,000 miles an hour. You cannot change that. That's an objective truth and a fact. If it adjusts in any way, we die. That's one example. Second example, you and I are on different sides of a street corner, and a fight happens in the middle. And I go, da, 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 and you go, no, 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 da, and I go, da, 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 and we go back and forth. It doesn't matter what we think right now, because that fight only happened one way. Our job is to be as objective as possible to figure out what the hell really happened in that fight. We have to kind of take ourselves and our feelings out of it to figure out how that fight happened, to be objective. Right. That if you keep going back, well, the importance of the individual, if the individual doesn't know and he starts going down, that's why we should have good teachers. If he's going down a path that you know is going to lead him to a jab that's going to get him killed, I'm not going to let him go down that path.
But you observed the fight from the right side of the street, and I observed it from the left side of the street.
Yeah.
So you and I, you and I belong to two different schools of thought.
Yes, but
that's where but that's where individualism comes in.
Not really, Dwight.
Yes, really,
listen,
G.
Listen, because it's at that point which is what's happening in government right now, if people took their feelings and emotions out of all the garbage that's going on and just say, look, objectively, did that policy work or not? It worked. Okay, well, then we should vote for this person. That's not what they're doing. They've got their individual feelings and their sides, and they're all involved. You have to take that out and it's hard. I'm not saying it's easy. But we have to be able to take ourselves out of that and look and say, you know what, Dwight? No, actually, that kick ass and be objective about it.
Let me ask Dwight a question. Dwight, how do you discover what is true? Do you look inwardly or do you look outwardly? How do you discover what is true?
I do both.
And you think by looking, so maybe what I think you're saying about looking inwardly is your thought process, right? But if you're using your thought process to analyze what is true, are you really looking inwardly? What is your thoughts doing?
Well, see, this is the thing, right? So if you ask me what I'm thinking, I could tell you that for 2 days. If you ask me what I'm feeling, I can't answer.
What is your thoughts doing? What is your mind doing? Let's change the word from thoughts to mind. What is your mind doing when you're thinking through something to figure out whether it's true or not?
My mind is running through different processes. It's thinking if there's something else that I can relate this to. Is there a commonality? It's thinking, have I heard about this, seen this, experienced this in some form or fashion before? Does this remind me of anything else? Does this inform me in any way that I have been previously informed, or is this completely different?
Wait.
My mind,
yes, go ahead.
right? So my mind will go through a whole bunch of things. And then, and only then, ultimately, how I feel about it might come into play.
Okay.
But I can't even swear to you that how I feel about it might come into play. Because, see, there could be something that I go, God, that's true. I don't feel good about it, but it's true. So I am not a person who arrives at conclusions based on how I feel.
Okay, hold on a second.
Yes.
So let me offer you another way of understanding that, right? True, whatever is true, right, will be true whether you or I are born. So truth is not within us. Truth comes from us observing what is evident around us. And our mind processes our sight, our hearing, our experiences based on the external. All we're doing is taking the external and analyzing it internally. But we're not discovering anything new inside of us. We're just taking what's out there. So whether I was born or not, what is true today will remain true, and it will be true after I'm dead, right? When it comes to martial arts, you have to look at what's evidentiary out around you. Not what, I think, or the accident. Okay, I saw the red car.
I think
looking at the accident from what, you have to look at it as what it actually is.
I think when y'all hear me use the word individual, right? Y'all think that I am automatically talking about separatedness, but that's not true.
Not separatedness,
no.
Right? See, because the individual who saw the fight from the right side of the street, and the individual who saw it from the left side of the street, that's two individual sightings. But what happens now when the two of them get together and one learns from the other because the other person is better versed in fight observation?
But that wasn't even, I know, but that wasn't even the point, Dwight. The point was, no matter how we feel doesn't change what happened. That's objectivity. What is, Dwight? That's what, right? What is, not what we want it to be.
What is?
Or what our feelings.
Wait. I didn't say that it was what we want it to be. When did I say that?
No, where you were going just now with this person, and then we get together, and then we decide,
Yeah.
okay, we figure right.
Yeah.
But my point of the whole story was it doesn't really. What happened in that fight only happened one way. Our jobs as human beings is to be as objective as possible, which is hard, to figure out what happened. It cannot come. You see what I'm saying? It happened one way.
But gee, if 10 people watch that fight,
Yes.
right?
We'll have
Is
10
different opinions.
Is 10 individual
Yes.
people.
That's right. And it don't matter. The fight only happened one way.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Right.
But in discussing the fight,
yes,
you're gonna get perhaps,
that's why you should have.
yes,
right, 8 people who saw it a particular way,
yes,
and then 2 people who really saw it.
They
Yes.
didn't see it a particular way. They will all have some kind of variations of the same thing.
on the same
Which
thing.
is why we started with the elephant in the room.
That's
because
right.
The blind man
Right.
and the elephant is a perfect illustration of what is happening in the martial arts world. People are saying it is this, and no, it is not that.
It's not that.
And you can't call it a martial art if it doesn't fulfill certain fundamental laws.
Yep.
If your punch is not delivering the objectives, then it's not martial. It's just something you're doing. And if you're not following a system and it's crazy all over the place, it's not even an art. I don't know what it is, but it's somebody trying to discover a way of fighting. The problem is you only have one life and you have this many prime years, right? And you
So
don't have infinity to figure this out.
That's right.
You
So,
have a
okay.
limited time within which to figure it out. And if after 20 years or 30 years or 5 years, you still cannot throw an effective punch.
Yeah.
You cannot stand up in front of somebody and confidently say, I don't care what you do, I have an answer.
all right, answer
Then
this.
you're in trouble.
Answer this. Is Muay Thai an art? Is Kung Fu an art?
I haven't studied Muay Thai. I know it's some kind of combat. I don't know if it's referred to as an art, but I know it is a combat system, right? Because I haven't taken it, I can only say my knowledge is limited to what I've seen in Muay Thai matches, for example.
Okay.
But
Do you think everybody who teaches Muay Thai all around the world teaches it identically?
art doesn't mean that it looks nice, you know. Art
Yeah,
just
yeah,
means
yeah.
that if it's going to be something, it has to follow some fundamental rules.
But
with a
based,
pen-
okay, right. So, right, in your opinion,
Mhm.
does Kung Fu follow those principles? Does Muay Thai follow those principles?
Well, it just depends on whether the style is teaching the principles.
So in Jeet Kune Do, it depends whether the instructor is teaching the principles.
Well, Jeet Kune Do,
Because Jeet Kune Do was spread a little bit differently. It came onto the scene and developed, right? And developed a little bit differently. Because let me ask you this, right?
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. Who is the international superstar associated with Muay Thai?
Ajahn Chai, according to you, I mean, that's the only guy I know because that's the only guy that we hear about. But
Right.
G has a favorite
Yeah.
who is a very unorthodox fighter.
Yeah.
I don't know his name, but he's
Okay, let me rephrase the question. Let me rephrase the question. Who is the international cinematic superstar associated with Muay Thai?
I have no
No
idea.
idea. No idea.
None.
Right. Now, somebody might say Tony Jaa, right? But
Yeah.
Okay. So, who is the cinematic international superstar associated with Jeet Kune Do?
Bruce, of course.
Right. And everybody wanted a piece of him.
Yeah.
You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Now, how were you able to get a piece of him? Where could you go to get a piece of him?
Well, the only person I could think of would be Danny.
Or you go
Right.
to school, or you go to
You see?
a school, you go to a
Okay.
JKD.
So you could only go one place
Yeah.
for the whole world.
Right.
You see?
Mhm.
But that was
That's going to be a problem. That's going to be a problem. So the second that it grew beyond that, is the second that the quality started to change.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just roll on from there.
And
Right.
we
So,
are-
so
we
was
are
that
waiting for valid-
was that one question that we spent all this
Yeah.
time on?
Okay.
Yeah, well, I told you you're going to need 45 minutes to answer some of these questions, right? I wasn't joking.
I'm watching our questions here.
No.
What are you on number 4 already?
Yeah,
You only have
Come
5?
up, come up to it. So you do
Yeah.
Okay.
answer the questions here because we only have one more question,
Yeah.
and that will be the end of it. So answer.
Why not answer no?
Let Dwight do it.
I am not answering any question until Jamie asks one.
Until Jamie, oh please.
Well,
Jamie.
put on the questions in the meanwile. They
Right.
comment.
In the meanwhile,
It's only my goddaughter that I answer questions from.
I think what you're going.
No. I got it. I'll
You
scroll
got it.
back. I'll
You
scroll
got
back to the top. I'll scroll
Yeah,
back to the top.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so way back an hour and a half ago, a guy named Brian Carter Green said, "Behave."
I got that. I saw that one. I saw that.
Did you see this one?
Don't drive. Thanks, Will, if you're still there. Don't drag. It's just that
Right?
one thing. Oh my God.
Yeah.
One thing. One
Okay.
thing.
All right. So let's see.
It's amazing how you can just put it up on your screen like that.
That's why I'm in control.
Yeah.
All right. So here's a comment from Scorch over on the YouTube. Right? You see it?
Yes.
I can explain Zen to you, but I cannot understand what.
Yeah.
Understand it for you.
Yeah. Okay, I think we kind of covered that.
Well,
Right.
well, we have a take on Zen.
Yeah, but anyway,
We
that's
will do
another-
maybe another broadcast.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
Okay. Let me show. This was a comment from Rob Roy.
Yeah.
Right? Bob
Rob
Bremer
Roy.
said that Bruce was changing so fast that what he taught a few weeks before was trumped by him.
Uh-huh.
And he said he taught to each person's strength and ways.
Yeah.
Right?
That
Okay.
doesn't take away from whatever that thing is.
Yeah. But
Right.
this is the thing. But this is the thing. Right?
Yeah.
Listen to this. Bruce Lee was changing so fast.
Yeah.
Right? Now, if Bruce Lee was changing so fast,
Yeah.
is it possible he didn't even have time?
No, I
Right?
think it's possible that
He didn't even have time for it to settle,
yeah.
right, in his brain to then even be able to pass it on to anybody. And
Yeah.
what if he was changing so fast because he was trying to get it,
Yes.
but he didn't.
Yes.
And then he left.
And then he left.
no. He definitely had objectives that he was trying to
Right.
reach, and he
Yeah.
was working on those.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But whether he actually achieved it to the manner or the degree at which he wanted, that's we all know the answer can't be yes, because he was still in the process of discovering how
Yes.
to do the things he wanted to achieve.
I'm still working on Amy. I think Dwight is just selecting the best comments. He
Yes.
doesn't want us to see all the negative ones.
Come on,
Nope.
Come on.
No,
What?
wait.
Come on.
He doesn't understand that
What?
JKD is not a style or system.
System.
There are universal
See,
concepts.
there it is
but
right
the
there. Whoever
execution is
Richard
individual.
Rycroft, he said that. Yeah.
Richard
And therein
Rycroft.
lies the issue.
There are
Yeah.
There are
Wait,
fundamental
How
physical laws.
y'all get to that already?
Yeah.
Because we
I don't know. Maybe because we got cut off and we came back and the rest
had
of it is
Richard
gone.
Rycroft.
Oh.
Remember when we got cut off? Maybe we
Yes.
came back.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, no, I'm on top of that.
Yeah.
Yes, there's individual interpretation, but there's fundamental laws and physics that guide
Yeah.
combat,
And where is
and those cannot be ignored.
that's right.
Richard,
Okay. So we answered
Okay.
that.
Wait.
Thank you, Frank. Okay.
All right.
Frank said this is a great program. Thanks, Frank.
Okay, let Dwight catch up.
Alex said she hustled a free online class from you, Dwight. You took her out of the horse stand.
I should have left her in the horse stance for 45
You
minutes.
just left her there.
Right? Yeah. All right. Let me get to. Okay. Take a look at what Dell said.
Thank you, Mark. This is a cool discussion. Go ahead. Dell said.
A good analogy for JKD instructors is driver's ed.
Yeah.
taught by one instructor in one school versus another.
Yeah.
Essentially, you're learning the same material, but
Yeah.
not necessarily in the same order.
Yes, we get that.
We
We
get
get
that.
that instructors will teach
Yeah.
things out of order. The point that was being made is that
You better put on the indicator. Yes.
everybody will eventually have the same knowledge of how to drive, right?
Yes.
Or like
Yeah.
in a style, everybody will have the same knowledge of how to throw a punch or a kick
Yeah.
if it's a particular style. But what we're seeing is gaps in that knowledge, or perhaps, or failure to acknowledge certain fundamental laws. That's all.
Well, it's the same. It's the same way that everybody gets their driver's license, and some people you wonder who the hell taught them.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the people who break the law or don't put on indicators, they know it. They're just ignoring it.
Well,
right?
Yeah.
Or they might not have, if they didn't have a good instructor, they never learned to put the indicators on. Who knows what the reason is, but.
Okay. All right. So now I'm up to Richard Rycroft, right?
Okay, he's up to
What
Richard
she
Rycroft.
doesn't.
Understand is that JKD is not a style or system. There are universal concepts, but the execution is individual.
Yeah. Just.
Well,
yeah.
I just answered that.
She answered that.
Yeah, I
Wait.
just answered that.
Yeah.
But what?
You want to hear the answer?
Yeah, I did hear the answer.
I
Yeah.
gave the answer. I said, yes, there are universal laws that guide, but when it comes to martial arts, there's definitely fundamental physical laws,
That's right.
laws of physics that guide us. It's no longer in individual interpretation. We have to follow those physical laws to have the end result we want. So we can't say it's my interpretation is I'm just going to do it this way. This is how it, no, you would have individual nuances because of body type, but you have to follow certain fundamental laws.
And you don't believe that fundamental laws are being followed in JKD?
Not by everyone.
Not by everyone.
And I don't know because I don't know everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, JKD is thousands
Right.
and thousands and
So it's
thousands.
like driver's ed. Not
Yeah.
every driver's ed instructor, right, is as qualified as the other.
Let me say it this way. I haven't seen anyone do it.
Okay.
That doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. I just haven't seen it. It's like a unicorn.
All right.
A lot of people well trained.
A lot of people, right, who studied in the 60s and 70s were already well trained.
Yeah.
So JKD was a razor cutting through to truth.
Yeah.
A razor cutting through to truth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, you know what's important about that?
Yeah.
Who studied in the 60s and 70s? 60s and 70s predates the seminar phenomenon.
Okay.
But here's a point.
Thank you, Rob, for that.
Okay,
Right.
here's a point that I don't know if it's a JKD practitioner, you could correct me, but there was somebody he was showing me recently on YouTube says JKD was meant for people who already studied another style, so that they will know the fundamental laws, and then they can add JKD to, and it'll work perfectly. But if you've never studied another style, you're going to be lost in a forest. Basically, is what you say.
And that is a premise that came about afterwards,
Okay.
right? When they realized,
That's Amy.
right?
Amy.
Amy's asking what came first, JKD or TCF? Well, Amy, I will answer that. Guess what? They came about around the same time.
That's
Right.
right. Amy.
Yep.
And now here's another thing that they have in common, right? You ready for this? You ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
Old school JKD, like Rob Roy was just talking about.
Yeah.
You know what those guys were doing?
Mm-hmm.
Those guys were beating the crap out of well-known, top-notch karate black belts.
Mm.
So they saw what they were doing work.
Yes.
The same way that a bunch of people in Baltimore saw what they were doing work against other styles.
That's right.
You understand?
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, when did TCF get spread through the seminar phenomenon?
Never.
That's why there's no watering down. You get it now? You understand it now?
Never.
Never.
This
You
is
get it
not
now?
that could be conveyed in seminars.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, well,
All right.
in its entirety.
Yeah.
You could
Okay.
begin with it.
So-
Oh, yeah. What attracted you to TCF? You have that question ready for him?
Ah,
Wow.
well, that's a-
No, wait.
Oh, you-
Yeah, we didn't get there yet, Albert.
question,
So
and
it
he's
looks
still there.
like, go ahead.
It looks like they're saying none of us are doing Jeet Kune Do because in their view, nobody knows how to punch based on YouTube views.
No.
Not based on YouTube
we
views. I
see
mean,
it.
we've seen people.
We've seen it. We've seen some of the top people. What's his name? Albert. In front of us.
We've seen people who are there a very long time.
Yeah, a very
do
long
stuff
time.
in front of
Yeah,
us,
so
live
anyway,
and in
yeah.
person.
Albert just made a generalization.
Yeah,
Right.
we're not talking about YouTube alone.
Yes.
I mean, YouTube does add to it, but
Yes.
we've seen people not
Okay.
work.
Yeah.
Did
okay,
you see
Rob,
this one from Rob?
Go ahead.
Bob Bremer used to say only 1% of these guys are going to get it. The art
Yeah.
is not for most. It's
Mhm.
interpersonal development and awareness is highly demanded.
I understand, Rob, all of that. Okay. I really do, Rob. The point we're trying to get at, Rob, is that you have to have, at the very least, basics and fundamental laws that people follow before you can chase people and say, go do this, go do that, go find your own way, right? Or else, and that's what I mean about this guy who said, no, you have to get the benefit of using no way as a way. But anyway, that was my point, Rob. You have to have it.
Yeah.
To us right now, there is none.
Again, right? Because when you understand, okay, so individuality is emphasized in JKD,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Individuality is a good thing.
Yeah.
It's not a bad thing. It's a
Right.
It's a positive
Yeah.
thing.
But what some people missed
Yes.
when they learned that idea about individuality being important,
Yes.
what some people missed is that was not a way of saying, okay, so however you want to do it
That's right.
is your way
That's right.
or is correct for you. No,
That's
it
right.
never meant that.
That's right.
It never meant that. But
Yep.
if you didn't have, see, when Dan Inosanto first said, frustration is good,
Mm-hmm.
okay? I immediately understood
Mm-hmm.
that the other part of that statement was
Mm-hmm.
frustration is a good tool if
Mhm.
you are dedicated, committed, and prepared to work through your frustration.
Yes.
I immediately picked up on that. But
Yeah.
guess what? A lot of people don't.
Yes.
And so what happens when they get frustrated? Or what happens if I just repeat what Dan Inosanto said without explaining it and qualifying it for my students?
Mm-hmm.
When they get frustrated, if I didn't give them the part about how it's a good tool to work through, to come
Yeah.
out on the other side, they get frustrated and they do what normal people do, which is to quit.
Yes.
You see?
Mhm.
So, again, because the individual level of understanding
Yes.
is a thing
Yes.
in JKD, because here's an individual that came to the seminar from this part of the world. Here's
Mhm.
one that came to the seminar from that other part of the world.
Mm-hmm.
And who knows what happens to them when they go back.
Yeah.
But in TCF in Trinidad,
Mm-hmm.
you say something
Mm-hmm.
and a guy doesn't understand it. So
Mhm.
maybe he comes to you after class and
Mhm.
maybe you give him a lesson in it
There was a
right
lot of
there and then.
There was a
Right?
lot of.
Or
Yep.
you call Dale or
Mhm.
Dave and you go, okay,
Yes.
I'm going to let Dale explain this
Yeah.
to you. And
Yeah.
he gets the lesson right there.
That's right.
That might not happen for either of those guys
Mm-hmm.
until the next seminar, however, whenever that is.
Right.
And there is a difference then in how the information and the knowledge and whatever you want to call it is transmitted or transferred or what have you.
before we go on really quick, you just made me realize something, Dwight.
Doesn't he always give you eureka moments?
You do. The time when that ball hit me in my face, after 30 something years, and I'm talking to this guy, and the ball hits me in my face.
Yeah, but don't blame me for that.
This is another discussion for another day. TCF had a final vision to always look at.
JKD didn't
Right.
get there. JKD
Right.
didn't get
No,
right.
no, the guy
Right.
died at 32
Right.
in Hong Kong.
Yeah, so we always had a guide.
Well, what did we have?
Oh, wait, it's not getting
What?
okay. Wait, right? We always had because this, and it's still there. So
Right.
this
So
day,
yeah. So
That's
and
it.
we had what?
Yeah.
Enter the Dragon.
right? This we know what we had to achieve. JKD lost that at 1972.
The final
73.
vision of what it should
There
be.
was no final. There is no
No.
final vision to this day.
No.
Is it?
Well, I mean, objectively, combat is to be dominant, right?
Yes.
But to say you can define it the way we
Identify.
can define and identify what it is we want to
Wow.
do, I think that is lost to some degree.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
And that's like Dwight trying to be, you're going to school to try to be a doctor, and you have no, what am I learning all this for? But you can see what doctors do.
Now, this is where, because there was no final point for JKD,
Yes.
this
Yes.
is why, you ready for this?
Yes.
This is why the importance of the individual approach. See, because it is now incumbent on every JKD person to pursue that final point.
But what is the final
Yes.
point? If not to be successful and dominant in combat. And that begins with a concrete lesson in
And one guy might approach that through this art, another guy through that art.
Then it's no
Another
longer
guy-
JKD.
No longer
You
JKD,
have to
then it's
name the
not-
thing for what it is.
Yes.
Then it's just a concept.
Then
It's
it's just
not
a concept.
It's not the concrete
Which is what we
thing.
said in the beginning.
It's not the concrete thing. The
No.
concrete- you can't pull from here and pull from. Okay, I like the boxing jab. I'll take that. Well, then it's not a JKD jab. It's a boxing jab that you're taking because you want to
Nope.
attain our JKD objective.
Nope, not true. Not true. Not true.
Show me how.
Because the boxer will never think of his jab, right, as part of a tool, a set of tools that include kicking.
No, we're not saying that. We're saying the
But
jab.
the JKD guy will.
Yeah, but a JKD guy.
So that's how the JKD
takes
takes the boxing jab. That's how the JKD guy takes the boxing jab and modifies it.
Right, but we're talking the same thing then.
Yeah.
We're talking the same thing.
Anyway, let's go on. Let's go on.
You
let's
have
go
to
on.
call
Yeah.
the thing for what it is. You cannot, because then if it's everything, then it's nothing.
Then it's nothing.
If it's everything, then it's nothing.
The best way,
And that's laws of
and
logic.
that's laws of logic. The best way to show somebody nothing is to show them everything.
No, but the thing is, if you call everything
that's-
something, then it's nothing.
Then it's nothing.
It's like everybody gets a first place. Does that mean everybody crossed the line at the same time? Everybody gets a trophy and everybody wins. Does everybody cross the line at the same time? No, then nothing is special
Then
about
nothing
it.
is special.
Nothing is special about it. You can't, if it's everything, then it's nothing.
Then it's nothing.
And it's nothing special.
Well, wait. If let's dial this back for a second.
Yeah.
Okay, dial it back.
Yep.
You're not getting
So
to
Ria,
this.
you said something about the JKD guy says I'm gonna take this jab from boxing, and I'm gonna take this throw from judo. Let's make that up,
Okay, yeah, sure.
right? Okay. So because he's taking a jab from boxing and because he's taking a throw from judo, what in your opinion, what has now gone wrong?
Nothing is wrong with that. But
Oh,
what I'm saying is he has to acknowledge that it is a judo throw and it is a boxing jab. And unless he acknowledges that history of that judo throw and this boxing jab, then in his mind, he can continue to pull from different places. And then he's pulling on what I've seen to some degree in JKD is that they're pulling in martial arts from different sources. And so it's everything, and then it becomes nothing. Because if you're pulling in everything, if it's different, it's that, it's this, and it's that.
That's a mistake.
Jamie say answer her. Answer her. Answer me now.
Especially, hold on. Especially if you're pulling in from styles that contradict each other. One style tells you to do this, the other style tells you to do the exact opposite. Okay. Or the way that they generate power is opposite to the conflict.
It's like when
then there's definitely a conflict of
it's like how I say, like how I say, you want to learn TCF? I'm not trying to be myopic. I'm telling you, you cannot go and mix this with 10 other things because it's going to be like uploading a Mac onto a PC. You're just going to be coming back and wasting money paying me.
Right. So I'm going to tell you this, right?
Jamie, we come into you.
If you think, right, if you think that people in JKD would try to mix things that conflict with each other, then you missed a point in your understanding. Nobody who understands JKD would ever do that, because one of the principal ideas in JKD is observation of the common thread, of the connecting thread, actually, right? Connecting thread, if not commonality, so that things do work together.
But how are they going to know what the commonality is when they haven't even understood the fundamental mechanics of certain things?
Why do you assume that? Why do you assume that they do one before the other, or that they do neither?
I'm not saying they do one before the other. I'm saying
we're talking about people who are diligently pursuing the art.
We're going back to the original conversation, right? If
there is just one
conversation. If there's a specific straight jab in JKD and everybody looks different, then there is no through line. There is something that is missing. There's something that they're not understanding.
And
it's as a result of the seminar.
And yes, a lot of it. And
so people are getting lost.
A lot of the people who were out there demonstrating are seminar trained, right? And have not gone as deeply as they can. Instead, what they do is they mimic the person that they got the stuff from.
So let's bring this back to conclusion. How are they going to understand that this through line exists if they cannot fully understand?
That's their problem.
But that's what I'm saying.
Jamie, we come into you, darling.
That's their problem. That's why they ain't never been to Temecula.
Jamie have a real good thing,
right? That's why they don't have Jamie as a goddaughter, because they don't know what the hell to do.
Her informative reporter hat is on, baby.
Okay, wait. All right, I gotta scroll all the way down to her then.
Oh my
God. And then move back up.
Move.
Right. Okay.
So we still have to come back to the last two things we have for you.
Okay, so the one under search.
It's under Scorch 10.
Scorch. Sorry.
Yeah.
Seafood James.
Okay. This one, I think the heart.
Okay. Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Thanks, Magazine Retriever.
I think the heart of the question is what the objective normative authority is that is outside of yourself.
That's written just like that is a child of yours right there.
Yeah, definitely.
That is a child of yours.
Definitely.
You see?
Definitely. People,
somebody explain to my goddaughter, when you use words like that, I check out.
If we can just get people to grasp that, they will see what our main issues are with Jeet Kune Do. Just that one concept. Thank you, Jamie. Thank you. Magazine Retriever, thanks for that. It would be good to see that Magazine Retriever. That, it always sounds good when you read it or hear it. But when I see it, it never matches what I read. Does that make sense? Yeah, he said something at the end.
What are you talking about? This one?
Yeah, Jesse.
Yeah. Flowed seamlessly from range to range?
Yeah, you hear it, I see it.
Yeah. All right, so so we scroll back to where?
Yeah, wherever you want.
Jamie, did she ask a question?
Albert has changed his mind. Albert now wants to come to the November seminar. He said he might.
Wait.
Thank God. That
Albert
goes to show
Kwan,
you're thinking.
Come to the thesis.
Yeah, it goes
Oh,
to
she-
show he's
she said-
thinking. Yeah.
Is there a question there that Jamie asked, or she was just making an observation?
An
She's making
observation.
an observation like a child of yours,
Thank you, Jay. Thank you,
Okay.
Jamie.
right?
She said, answer my question, Dad, Mom.
Where? What?
I know. No, no. That was before.
Go back,
Oh,
go back.
that was
Maybe there's a
before,
question
yeah.
further up.
Yeah.
Did we miss a question?
Wow,
up here?
Steve, you're still here. Steve, it's past your bedtime.
Hey,
We
man,
got 2 more questions left, Steve. Then we're done.
where are we?
Look here. This
She
is
said
actually-
this can easily be solved through TCF JKD tournament. I would pay to watch that.
No. We don't want to solve
Ah.
things violently. We
Wait.
just want to
Yes.
talk through it and
That's
see if we
right.
can come.
Okay, I am complete. I don't know where y'all are in the comments.
She have a light question. What is the one thing you have learned from
Okay.
one another, either personally or
No.
through-
When we come into that question at
Okay,
the
so
end
we'll
about
answer her question.
the question you wanted us to ask you, Dwight, but that's at the end.
I wanted you to ask me a question.
Yeah. You said why you said at some point.
What have you learned from TCF?
No,
or what
why
attracted
are
you?
you practicing TCF? Yeah, remember you
I
said-
wanted you to ask me that.
Remember, like 3 days ago, you said, "Don't forget, at some point it should come about."
No.
No.
Yes,
No.
I have it on writing.
It-
But anyway, keep going. I have it.
Show me that. I don't remember that.
Keep going, so we don't waste time. Keep
I
going.
would never set myself up like that.
No. You said that. You said at some point I'd like somebody to know why I'm practicing TCF.
No.
But I
Fine.
don't know anything about it. I was
Ah,
going to
yeah.
ask him that anyway.
Yeah, go ahead.
What
Right. Yes.
attracted? I don't care what he say. I was going to ask that question anyway.
Yes.
What
Right.
attracted me to TCF?
No. What have you? I mean, in the short time that you've done a little bit of what we do, what do you like about it? If anything, nothing, everything. Who knows? Maybe you just
I'm
you
looking
know
for it.
you
Yeah.
might just be what you call it, pranking us. So that's okay too. There's a lot of people that come and explore it for a little bit.
Well, okay, you ready for this? Okay, so this is the joke. This is the joke part of the question of the answer. This is the joke part, right?
Yes.
Okay. What attracted me to it? Guilt.
Yes. That is funny. Tell them the story. Tell them the story.
Right? You see?
Yeah.
Guilt. Because back when I heard of snow leopard or snow tiger kung fu, I'm like, that's a kung fu style, that's that classical thing,
Oh,
right? I got 2 years with Bruce Lee's Top Man.
of course.
I'm gonna hang out here.
Of course.
You see? Right? So 30 something years later, when you go, holy shit, I should have looked into this way back then. But like I have told you, I do not hold myself completely responsible because you did not pull me aside and say, Dwight, I got to explain something to you. Right?
Yeah.
I get what you're doing, but make sure, promise me, you're going to come back and take a look. You didn't do that. Right? You didn't even tell Inasano something like that. You didn't even tell Inasano.
He did ask.
Here's
did
what I
ask.
want you to do.
You're never too
Dan,
late.
Dan,
Yeah.
tell your boy Dwight, because
Yes.
he's closer.
Okay,
He's just
okay,
next door.
Right.
Tell
right,
your boy
right.
Dwight, come back and see us.
Yeah,
Because
right.
if you tell him to do it, he will do it.
You do right.
You
right.
didn't even do that. You send him. You
Listen,
send
people.
him. You send him wherever it was you sent him.
No. People, all I remember was he stared me in my eyes before he left and he said, I'll be back. He never came back. So it was all BS.
Listen, it's never too late to start learning
Right?
stuff.
So,
Life is,
Yeah.
so when a guy says to me, all right, throw your hook.
Mm-hmm.
Bam! What? What? I will stick around. You understand?
You're gonna stick around, right?
Because I am no idiot.
Right.
You see? Now,
Right.
months later,
Yeah.
I throw a hook.
Yeah.
And a esteemed JKD guy says to me, "That's a hook." I leave him alone.
That's right.
You understand?
Right.
I leave him alone.
That's right.
Right?
I hear you.
Yes.
I hear you.
That's
So
that
in
kind of
a
sounds-
nutshell, Ria, that's it.
Well, Dwight, that kind of sounds just like how the founder of the style starts used to deal with stuff, right?
Yeah.
Throw me something, try to reach me, whatever, and that's the way he approached learning something new as well. So you're not too far off.
Well, because remember the JKD mindset and the TCF mindset, if I dare say it, they are not diametrically opposite,
Oh no,
Okay.
everybody wants to be able to.
Okay. Look,
everybody wants
early days
to fight.
in the early days of JKD. Remember what I just told you, right?
Yeah.
So, like you have said, G, you saw Stevie as a teenager beating the heck out of people older and bigger than him.
Properly.
Right.
Properly.
Okay. JKD guys saw top black belts come into their school, and a guy with 6 months of JKD training was handing him his hat. So they saw something similar too. You see?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So at some point, the effect was the same. The approach wasn't the same. There's no way. But there was a time when in JKD, what was of most importance was how to do it well.
The how, you see, the how,
Yeah, how.
always important.
The how.
Okay? The how to do it well.
Yes.
That's
Right?
what you're getting at.
Yes.
And then you know what happened?
Mm-hmm.
You know what happened?
Mm-hmm.
The seminar phenomenon.
Okay, I get that. But Dwight, remember the discovery we just made.
Yeah.
How to do it well still needs a vision of the end.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that kind, it's like how I told someone recently. They came to me recently, very successful, hugely successful. And sorry, Dwight, driving you by mistake. What the hell? Hugely successful, and his manager sent him to me for something, and we working on it for 3 or 4 days. And here's a guy who is just so successful. And I said, listen, you gotta stop trying your best. You have to be the best to get this job. And he said, you just changed my whole life and approach to everything I'm going to do from this moment. He says, no one has ever told me that. They always said, try my best, try. But he said, the moment you said, I have to be the best, now I have what do I need to do now tomorrow to get this audition right so I can be the best and beat everyone else out of it? But in order to have that, Dwight, you have to have, he was able to see where he needed to go to get this thing done right. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, so Dwight, your homework is your homework is going to be
with two things we're going to finish on.
Hold on.
What I think Bruce would have been doing, and that cross, and that cross.
Hold on a second.
We're going to do that cross.
Okay. So the general objective, since JKD operates within the general rule, the general objective is to be a dominant fighter, martial artist, I should say, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your job as a JKD practitioner is to come up with the specifics of how to do that. This is where TCF diverts in pathways to JKD, because we still had someone who could figure out specifically how to achieve that and create the things that we needed to use to achieve that end. Maybe JKD does not have that pathway in terms of what specifically can I do to achieve that end goal. Unless you just want to pick,
Yes,
and then you
I'll
have
tell you, okay.
Then you have
Don't misinterpret that pick. That pick is to find what works. See?
Yeah.
And if we didn't continue with the pick, right? When I ended up at your place with Marvin, right? Then I would have just left.
Yeah, but you have to be careful in the pick, right? Because
yes, you do have to be careful in the pick. Of course,
because you don't want a fruit salad.
Because you can't pick stuff that conflicts with whatever. If you're lucky like me, right? You come across something where I'll tell you again. The guy says, "Throw a jab," right? And not only that, they tell me about this thing called snake and cobra. And I see this girl make a move.
Yeah.
And I go, holy shit, she looked like a snake. And you want me to turn around and leave and go home and pretend that God did not put a second opportunity in front of me? That's what you want.
You didn't see it. I'm gonna shake you all up. I'm still gonna shake you all up before we go. But anyway.
Okay, I think what time is it now?
Yes.
Do we have time?
Yeah.
It's half an hour left. Is it?
What do you mean half an hour left?
How long? When is this podcast end? I don't want us to go over the time.
This podcast ends when you say we done.
Oh, okay.
Jamie said guilt is crazy.
Oh my God. We're not listening to her. But did she put in we answered her question, right?
She's fine.
Okay, because if we didn't answer her question, I'm not going on.
And she texted me a picture of me doing this just now. That's Dad's face when.
Okay, so here's the one thing, since it was raised in the comment a couple times, that maybe give a perspective, right? There are a couple practitioners, and you might have mentioned it too, where they said using no way as the way, right?
Yeah.
I thought about it for a couple of days, and I told Gerard, I said, that is a statement that is true only for the master of the martial art. The person who has done it to the extent and could understand what that actually means, that's not a statement for a novice or a beginner.
Mm-hmm.
It's only a statement that is true for someone who's proficient.
Right.
Right? And novice or beginner or someone who's in the style for a short time is not going to understand what that means. So if they think they're going to use no way as the way, they're going to end up in a mess.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
You have to be extremely proficient at what you do with a certain amount of understanding about body mechanics and power and all these other things for that statement to become true. And you have to be more important, not years, not I'm doing this 15 years, I'm doing 20 years, because we've seen people doing 15, 20 years who don't have that understanding. As Gerard would say, the fight IQ, right?
Right.
That only comes with proficiency. Then that statement becomes true. It doesn't become true before that. And to get there, you can't use no way. You have to use a way.
So now here's the thing, see? So one, remember that somebody else said that JKD worked best with people who already had experience.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right? You see? So now when you see somebody and the label says JKD whatever, and they look terrible, that's probably somebody who came from scratch. Didn't come from previous training.
Right.
You see? And they are of a generation where whatever it is that you're into, you put it on social media and you put the tag on it because that's how you get the views.
Right.
You see?
Yeah.
But that does not automatically or necessarily mean that this is a high level person. Right. Now, the other thing, Ria, using no way as way, don't it sound cool?
It does.
It sounds cool. So listen.
But to get to that,
no. But wait. Listen. Watch this. Ria, just be water, my friend.
shapeless, become
Okay.
All the
Right.
philosophical things that have gotten people in a lot
But you
of
see, but right,
Yeah.
but they sound good. So if you can regurgitate them, guess what?
Yeah.
You must be knowledgeable, right? Remember, everybody wanted a piece of Bruce Lee.
Yeah, I guess.
And so you got the
guess.
movies, you got the magazines, you got the books with
Yeah.
all the cute sayings and whatever.
Yeah.
So now
Yeah.
somebody says, oh, well, how do you throw a
Yes.
straight lead in JKD?
Right.
You use no way as way,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
What do you mean you use no way as way? Well, you could just be like water.
So I guess,
And since or how do you throw a good straight lead in JKD?
Mhm.
Where do you learn? Oh, you just absorb what is useful.
Yes, right. So we have come to the conclusion it's the philosophical base in anything in life, any endeavor about life. The philosophical base guides that thing you're doing, the philosophical ideas that put that thing together. Abstract is what guides it eventually into the physical realm.
Concrete.
If that is confusing, the concrete will never happen. The concrete way of throwing a cross or throwing a cobra will never happen.
And the guy died when?
90s misery. But
Right?
here's a perfect example of concrete. In TCF, they said right away, you will not be brawlers. Every time you move for a reason. You are not going to stand there and exchange blows with an opponent. Good. Now that means anything
How?
that takes away from that doesn't belong there. It might look good, but it don't belong there.
Right?
How are you going to do it?
The how you're going to do it.
And the way
Yep.
that they
And that to me is where the JKD core issues stem
Yeah.
from,
But
that
see-
philosophical base.
But I can picture Bruce Lee saying exactly what you said.
we're going back to JKD's bridging. That was what makes JKD better.
Yeah.
Wing Chun, like the I mean, there's so
Yeah.
many things that they say JKD is.
Yeah, you have
that
to.
it's
Yes,
confusing
it's confusing.
when you're trying to find your way,
Yes. Yes.
and you have to find a way.
But see, here's okay. So Bruce Lee also said something like trying to define JKD is like trying to wrap a pound of water.
But he said JKD is the way of the intercepting
Intercepting
fist
fist.
as well.
Yes.
And he was not contradicting
He was,
himself.
yes, and-
if you understand
Are we
what
gonna
he's
end? We're
saying.
gonna end on these 2 points. We're gonna end on that and where I think this thing should have gone. Where I think Jeet Kune Do should have
So
gone.
he said the same,
Right.
he said those two statements.
He
right?
did say it.
He
He
said-
was very clear with it.
He said it is the way of the
And
intercepting
you can play that
fist.
clip. Let him play that clip.
Oh, he have a clip?
Yeah, I sent Dwight. I
you
am not.
have a
I am not even Jeet Kune Do, and I sent Dwight these clips.
Okay, well, Dwight probably knows about this clip.
What?
Right?
Wait, did it? I don't even know if it worked.
Uh-oh.
Okay, it's just a still. But we know what he said.
What is this thing you do?
In Cantonese, Jeet Kune Do, the way of the intercepting fist.
Intercepting
Oh.
fist, huh?
Or foot. Come on, touch me. Any way you can. To reach me, you must move to me. Your attack offers me an opportunity to intercept you. In this case, I'm using my longest weapon, my sidekick, against the nearest target, your kneecap.
Hey,
There's
look at that
something
sidekick. That sidekick looked familiar.
As it does.
Thing you do.
Does that-
Objective laws
That sidekick
of
look familiar.
combat.
The way of the
Objective
intercepting
laws of
fist.
combat.
Objective laws of
Intercepting fist,
combat.
Or foot.
Right?
Who in
Come on,
Jeet
touch
Kune
me.
Do
Any way
today?
you can.
Right?
To reach
Who
me, you
in
must
Jeet
move.
Kune
Get out of
Do
the way.
today?
I'm getting out of
Your
the
attack
Get out
offers
of the
me an
way,
opportunity
right?
to intercept you.
Understand.
In this case,
Give me your.
Oh, I'm doing it?
Yeah, you do.
I thought you were
No,
doing
no, no, right? Understand. If she's here and I'm teaching them a sidekick, that they had to pick this foot up in front of the knee, Dwight. Hit me, pull it back in front of the knee, and then put it down. That's a sidekick. Anything else is a roundhouse.
He
You
did
can
it.
have variations of that later on, but that's an objective sidekick.
Jimmy says, "Oh Lord, here we go."
Right?
Yes.
And he was very clear.
Okay.
He was very clear in what they asked him what it is. And to me, I don't know the Bruce Lee stuff, what happened after. That's what he was, that was the foundation with which he was building Jeet Kune Do.
Yeah.
Well, that's gone.
But-
That's definitely gone.
But how often, right? You ready for this? Ready for this? Kendall says, "I knew he couldn't stay seated."
Kendall, you know me, man. I got to be
Right?
on my feet. We ain't done yet, Kendall. One more to go. One
Right?
more to go on my feet.
But Kendall, Jamie, notice how I have them under control. They only stand up twice so far. Okay? We go in 2.5 hours. They only stand up
boy, that
twice
was
so
hard.
far.
That
Right?
was hard to be in sitting
Okay.
down. Go ahead.
All right. So
Yeah,
let me ask you
that was
this.
hard.
How many other times on the screen, big
Yeah.
screen or small screen,
Yeah.
have you seen him sidekick like that?
I mean, well, almost anytime you see him sidekick.
Watch the Enter the Dragon sidekick, right?
Yeah.
You see? And
He did
the
lunge,
retraction of it,
Yeah.
different,
The lunge.
Right.
right?
But the pickup was still the same.
Yeah, but see, you know how to look at that.
That's right. That's
You
right.
know, right?
Right. Yes,
You
yes.
know how to snapshot,
right.
snapshot.
Yes.
Everybody else, including me, for
Yes.
many years,
Yes.
I saw the big picture of it,
Yes.
not
Be-
the snapshot.
Because it is not your fault, but there are very few teachers who can teach the proper mechanics of something. It's got to start with something. Then you can break certain things. But right now, Jeet Kune Do has no something.
It used to,
It,
and it could have continued to have it.
yes.
Okay, so hypothetical for you.
Yes.
The November seminar,
Yes.
100 people show up.
Yes.
What are you gonna do?
Give them the money back and say I could only take 10.
He was probably.
Definitely ain't doing 100.
No,
I love
No.
you guys.
no, seriously,
No.
seriously, no,
Yeah.
no. Answer that.
No, I think that day is coming.
I think what he would do.
I think
Dwight,
that day is
He
coming.
would spend the entire time.
But
on one
no.
thing.
Here's the
One
issue.
thing.
No, wait, no. Here's the
One
issue. No,
thing.
stop.
One punch, one kick.
No, here's the issue. Remember when you first started to organize Miami? You probably don't remember this. I said to you, I want to see videos of everyone you think is coming from your end, just little clips of them. I want to know their names. I don't want name tags. I just want to know their names. Right?
Mhm.
I treat every session like that, Dwight. So if I know ahead of time 100 people not coming, I'm gonna say, guess what, guys? The response has been too great.
2 days.
I need to
3
break
days,
this up.
3 seminars.
We either can break it up into a week where everybody comes 2 days, 20 at a time, or we keep your names. Here's a refund back. I am not doing 100 people in a room. I'm not doing 100 people or 60 or 50. I'm not doing it. The system means too much to us to water the damn thing down.
And in my opinion, if I could be so obnoxious, you would be wrong.
To not to turn them down.
Yes.
Okay, no, that's fine.
And you should turn it into a thing
Yeah,
where you show everybody the one thing,
yeah,
and then you split them into 10 groups of 10,
yeah.
and then you go and you check and let them cancel themselves out and keep the money. Right? When they go, no, he taking too long. He taking too long on this one thing. I ain't coming back tomorrow.
All right. You ready for the cross?
Right? Good. Because the 20 people that show up on Sunday,
Yes. You ready for the cross? And where I think Bruce would have gone. Then we're done. Watch the cross.
All right.
Now watch.
I'm the beginner.
You are the.
I'm the beginner. You will just show me all the elements of.
No, now you can make me look bad.
No.
I'm the beginner.
No.
I'm the beginner.
No.
I'm the beginner.
I'm just gonna have her do the cross fast. Come
Oh,
right
I'm
here.
fast? Okay.
Yeah, come right here, face me. Right? I'm gonna have her do the cross
Wait, hold on.
fast. Right?
Okay, you want me to just do a regular right?
Regular right cross. I'm gonna leave my chin right here.
Oh, but
She can
I-
pass by the chin and
Okay,
come back.
Wait. I'll just stop. Sure.
Yes, you can
Just-
stop here. Watch her gauge, watch her foot position, watch every. You can see from there, Dwight. Can it?
Well, no, angle down. No. I got too much headroom. Angle down a little bit. I can't see your feet.
Okay, right.
Okay.
Yeah,
No, come closer, Ria. Come closer, come. Stop.
Come here.
No. I can't see her feet.
Right here.
Okay, there. Good.
Yeah.
All right, she can come forward a little bit more.
Forward.
There, stop.
So right here.
Yeah, I can see her back foot from there. Yeah.
Right, so now she's gonna throw the cross, right?
Uh-huh.
You can see her, right?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Right. Now what? I'm gonna do exactly what she just did here.
Yeah.
Don't get smacked in your
So I'm gonna
face.
don't get smacked in my face. So I'm gonna do exactly what she just did here from this position. There are 10 things happening there.
Maybe.
There are 10 things happening there, Dwight.
Okay.
So show me.
I'm gonna show her.
I'll leave them
I'll
out.
pretend she's the beginner.
Okay, we'll do this the other way around. I will leave them out and you'll add them one by one.
Okay.
Like that?
Okay.
So she's gonna leave them on. I'm gonna add them one slowly.
Okay.
Okay.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Slow.
Okay, punch.
Yeah. Go ahead. Punch. Okay. Stop. So first one is gotta twist the foot.
Okay.
Good. She twists the foot. Put your hand. Second one is she gotta put the chin down. That's 2. Chin down. Right. But
Right.
keep the chin down even when you come back.
Right.
Go back. Third thing is to do it again. Can't flare the elbow.
Right.
Right? Make sense? So come. So now put all of those together. Don't flare the elbow. Fourth thing is can't change height.
Aha.
Fifth thing, can't go up and down. Right? There we go. Right there on that position. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Next thing is do it again. Can't punch off the shoulder. We're up to 7. You gotta come in line. You gotta come in line with your center line. Do it. Go again, baby. So do it again. Right? Boom. Bang. Right? See what you can get? That's my wife, right?
You're killing me.
And then of course go slowly again. And then of course this particular hand can either be here or here, not here.
That's where your head goes. So.
And that's where your head goes.
So your head is up.
And if you really want to be picky when you throw that cross, you should try to keep this chin. You should try to keep this chin right here, right here, here, here. That's 10.
Well, you gotta
Okay.
snap it back.
I'm snapping it. We don't even counting, snapping
You
it
gotta pull
back.
your hip back.
And we didn't even count yet, Dwight, right? We didn't count yet. We didn't count yet.
Pull the hip.
Pull the hip forward and back,
Right.
right? So it's not just the hand,
Right.
right? It's the whole hip. And why do you do that? Because it leads you into the second strike.
Yep.
The hip leads you into the second and the third strike,
Pull from.
right?
Okay, Jamie says point the camera down again.
And say that again.
Jamie says point the camera down again.
Point the camera down again, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
And we have-
So we could see your feet.
Punch back.
Right. And of course, can you see that?
Yeah.
And of course, you can't do this, which the whole world is doing. You can't do that. You saw it?
Drag.
But so I was gonna say that what I didn't see her do, she
Yeah.
didn't turn the fist over early.
Yes.
Drag and drag.
And
Okay,
drag.
correct.
Right.
So this is drag. So
Right.
this is drag. Can't drag, right? It's got to be a point in and out.
Yep.
Hitting with those 2 knuckles. And
Yeah.
yes, she didn't do that. But you
Right.
see, the reason why she didn't do that is because they learn you can't flare the elbow.
Right.
So if you don't flare the elbow, you're not going to do that. If you
Right.
keep that elbow here and then shoot that shot, and at the last second, it's going to come back.
Yeah.
A cross. That's a cross, Dwight.
Yeah.
One thing.
Yeah.
You can't go to a seminar and have people do it. You can't be doing this. And people walking around and then you just walk by them and say, no, absolutely not.
But 100 people in the seminar, you split them into 10 groups of 10 and you go to everybody, because it's only 5 people going to be punching at any point.
Yes.
And
So
if you
you-
give each one of those 10 a point to remember, they will cohesively as a group remember all 10.
Right? You see?
Endel says he's impressed, Dwight.
Oh, he's impressed because you only got up twice, now 3 times.
He said the podcast is going to cause waves in the GKD community.
No.
Well,
No.
we're
We'll be fine.
not
We're fine.
We're
We're
not
fine.
knocking JKD.
At all. At
We're
all.
not-
JKD has
Yes.
somewhere.
We still have to cover before we go where I think Bruce would have gone.
This podcast not popular enough to cause waves.
Okay, that's
Right.
good.
Right?
Where do you think Bruce would have gone?
Yeah. You want to end? You want to end on that, or you want to keep going before we end on that?
No, I want to see if Jamie or Amy have anything else to say.
Plenty of them had stuff to say, man. Jamie's still going. Jamie having a ball. She having a ball. Say here, it's difficult to teach a concept from scratch. I've always felt you need a skill set. Okay. All right, Paul, I hear you. Two different perspectives, but your perception of the fight is your perception. That has nothing to do with what I said, Michael.
Perception is different
Yes,
from truth.
from truth. That's all, Michael.
Wait,
Perception.
how you seeing all that stuff? And
I just went back. I just went back a little bit.
Um,
Why does Mark back keep calling me the orbit guy? Ironically, I've never used a jab or cross in confrontation. Yeah, most of the time it's going to be a palm. I'll never use my fist in a street fight, Mark. But because we had a lot of people competing long ago, so but not
somehow,
all people are equal.
somehow you ended up with a whole bunch of comments that I don't see.
You don't?
No, I don't see any of those.
That's it. I just went back up. Does the jab? Kendall had a question. Does the jab in boxing and the lunge punch in karate perform the same function and purpose, but have different mechanical fundamentals? Which one is proper? Genuine question. Does the jab in boxing and the lunge?
It's the reverse
Yeah.
punch.
No, the lunge punch is oizuki, the front punch.
The front punch. Okay.
Yeah,
Also the front.
yeah. What's the question? Well, it's not for me, it's for you.
Yeah,
Same
Dwight.
function.
Dwight. You answered that. You made room back there. Does the jab in boxing and the lunge punch in karate perform the same function and purpose, but have different mechanical fundamentals? Which one is proper?
Lunge
Genuine
punch is a front punch, Dwight?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Lunge punch with the front hand. Okay, does it perform the same
That's a-
purpose?
that's a
I
jab.
guess every punch would have multiple purposes. It's all in the intent of the person who's throwing it.
Well, the lunge punch.
It's trying to knock you out. It doesn't have to be a teacher.
But see, okay, so, well, here's the thing, right? Old school boxers could knock you out with the jab,
Front jab, yes.
Okay. Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Today,
Yep.
it's a feeler,
Yeah.
it's a probe to set up
Yeah.
whatever and whatever.
No, not just that. Even if again, if you're going down to fundamentals,
Oh, I mean,
right? Even if you're going down to freaking fundamentals, nobody even knows, Dwight, because they're all shooting a jab. Okay, I can't even do it wrong. But let's pretend I'm trying to do it wrong. They throw a jab here and then they throw a cross here because they
Yeah.
shoulder. They don't even know that one of the reasons of that jab
Is to hide.
was to hide the cross.
Yes,
I mean, just the simplest things,
yeah,
you know?
yeah. Right, so to my way of thinking, the lunge punch, because it is the lunge punch, is not a probe or a setup. That's designed to score its own point. But can it be adopted or adapted to do what you just said and hide
Yes.
Gyakuzuki?
Yes.
Yes, it can be.
Yes, it can.
Yes, it can be.
Yes.
And in today, if you look at competition today where everybody's bouncing,
Yes.
right? Look at karate competition today.
Yeah.
That bouncing thing might make it easier for them. But if you're talking about the classical
Yeah.
oizuki,
Yep.
That was a thing by itself, separate from everything else. It wasn't like part of a combination or from what I remember.
Right.
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 So
Yeah.
it's no, I don't know if I could say that that the fundamental purposes are
Yeah.
the same, and the mechanics definitely are not the same because the body structure is
Yeah.
different.
And when you're ready to play that clip with him and
The formation is good. Okay,
O'Hara.
so what's it? That's it?
No, the clip we're gonna show him now the thing with Bruce Lee.
What, the O'Hara?
Wait.
My thoughts on where I think he would have gone.
Okay.
Oh, that's why that one exists.
Yes, yes. When you're ready to get to the end, you're gonna play that first.
Okay, well, I gotta make room. I gotta make room for it. Hold on. I gotta make room for it. What Kendall said? What
He said, "You got it, Dwight." In relation to how JKD adapts other styles. Okay.
Okay.
Good for him.
All right. Okay. So.
Okay,
All right.
Amy's watching carefully. Good.
Okay. So let me see. I'm going to give you a question.
Yeah.
That is impossible for you to answer.
Okay.
The question is, what do you think? Right. Hold on. Let me get it first. Okay. So, what do you think? Right. Wait. Let me get it back there. Okay. All right. Wait. So the audio, the sync is off.
Yeah.
Right. But what do you think I titled that video? Do you remember? Did you read what I titled it?
No, I didn't. No, I didn't get time.
Okay. So. The title of that video, right? The title of that video is "Why Get Up."
Exactly.
Right?
Oh my God.
The title of that video is "Why Get Back Up."
And the answer is, it's a movie, Dwight. It's a
Right?
movie. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now, here.
No, he has to show the clip.
Yeah, so once I put it into the stream, it moves and then I gotta find it.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
Watch it. Right. Cut it. Yep.
Right?
Now,
Okay.
just play the beginning one more time.
That same one?
Yeah. One more time. Right there. Right there. Right there. Stop. All right, you're sure you guys want to hear this, right? I may not be right. I'm just going on observation. Number one, I've heard more than one person say on your podcast show, "Oh, no, Bruce Lee, that was just for the movies." He still had a through line. His through line he was trying to develop, he did it more than once. He may have kicked low in real life. He may not have kicked somebody's head in real life, but that wasn't affecting the through line that he was trying to get his body to do. And the reason why I know this is because in the behind the scenes of Enter the Dragon, when he's trying to do the spin kick, he wasn't getting it right because he wanted to get to the point where he could flow and dance and move after the kick and not plant himself down in his normal default position. But that move right there, isolated, is where, because no one today can even understand in Jeet Kune Do, far less do it. They can't even do it, Dwight. And it's beyond me that they cannot get, let me see if you can see her.
What you want me to do?
So they cannot get if she rushes me.
Wait. I can't see her feet.
Okay. She's not gonna come. She's just gonna rush me.
Okay.
No, come here. She's gonna rush here. So rush her. Yeah. But you can rush me and go past the camera. Go. But do whatever you want. So again, our system, do whatever you want.
Do whatever you want?
Do whatever you want. Right there, stop right there. Okay. So now that they can't understand what. So watch carefully. Just my initial move. They can't understand. Go. That. They can't understand that. Like they can't understand instead of this, they can't understand, go, that, this. Which is what he did it more than once in all of his films. He did more than, it's not just that. It was the ability to hit, right? The ability to hit and float. And float. He would never be like that. Like what she just did. Do that again, right? Bang, right? And just light. So if I rushed her and she kicked me and she boom, she's light.
He had his bounce coming back up on him.
It was a true line and everything. That was defining what he was trying to do with his body, because he realized that combat, and I think he probably said this more than once, was a thing where attack. You have to stay fluid. You have to be able to. You can't do that by planting your foot down. You can't do that by kicking something. He would never be doing this. Skip back, jump back, and then he would never be doing that.
Nor this.
Bang! He would never be doing that.
At least not in his movies.
Right. Okay. So where do you think? So explain that again. Then where you think he was heading?
This I just showed you. So I think he was trying to get his body, because he didn't have it yet. When you look at his stuff, he didn't have it yet. When you look at his stuff, like in this backyard. I don't know what he was doing then. Sometimes he might have been preparing for a movie. Who knows?
Yeah.
But he sometimes you saw him against the bag. He didn't have it yet practically. But the fact that he knew in a movie he could do it over and over till he get it right, and that he did it, means that was that was a true line he was trying to get to. And everything else he was going to build in Jeet Kune Do was going to be built around that lightness. Not this heavy thing that people are down in these damn stances today. That's just one true line.
Okay, but all right, but gee, in all fairness, haven't you seen some JKD people out there trying to be light?
No, Dwight. That's different. Look at me. Look at what I just did.
Okay.
Look at what I just did. It's not this. Dwight, look at me. Come in. It's not. I'm not talking about this. I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about that. They just mimicking boxers doing that.
Right. That's what I'm saying. But they're trying to be light.
Yeah, but they're not. But they.
That's not a word trying.
But they missed the whole reason. Trying to be light. They missed, right?
I think the word was ready. He was trying to be ready. You kick and you're ready again for whatever is coming next.
It's more than just, what we're seeing today is people trying to copy boxing and move around and jab and dodge, bob, and weave. No, I'm not talking about that. It's like they're not seeing it.
It's to be ready at all times. Be ready.
It's like a touch and go, and go.
Well,
we only speculating.
We're speculating, but that I just wanted.
What is in the mind.
Well, look, the first time I heard you say touch and go, right? I remembered that was a Bruce Lee statement, but it was not used the same way that you use it. Bruce Lee used touch and go to refer to block and hit.
Right?
Okay. That's how he used it. Yeah. So he actually was not in favor of how he used the term touch and go. He didn't use it favorably.
Yes.
Right. You know, and I thought about that, and I was like, man,
But
actually,
actually,
Santos said
wait.
he adjusted his footwork
Wait.
to hit and come out like a touch and go type of thing.
But wait a minute, Dwight.
accommodate-
Think about what. Come back. Think about what I just did. Though I just realized I remember I said everywhere he did his fight scenes, he was trying to show that. He did the same thing. Come here, Ria.
Yeah.
Come here.
Let's
Here.
see if he
He actually did the same thing in the Long Beach thing. He didn't kick. He didn't kick. Come forward.
What you want to say?
Yeah, just step in. He didn't kick and then put his foot down and plant it down. He actually threw the kick. Boom. He stood there for a while. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? It's I'm trying to get people to understand. It wasn't about the dancing around thing.
Yeah.
Kind of a,
Well, that's why you know what they call late stage or latter stage JKD. You know, that's when they tout that he had moved away from the sticky hands of Wing Chun and the trapping and all that, and it was more. Some people would say kickboxing oriented, right? So it was all about being light on your feet and not being a target, and there not being anything to trap or what have you, right?
You couldn't do that. You couldn't move like that if you kept that. If you kept any of that stuff, you couldn't do that.
Yeah.
but I think the point is it's not just to be light on your balls of your feet or on your toes. It's just to be always in a position to be ready to counter or strike back.
Yeah.
There's a readiness after
There's a readiness after he's
whatever
finished,
he's
yes.
done. There's a readiness
Yes.
that you're not seeing.
Yeah. It can only be speculation.
Yes.
And but the thing is, I would say that I see an attempt at something like that, not that, but something like that.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. You're going to love this.
Yeah.
When I see some JKD people, you know how they have the hand down here?
Yes. Yes.
Right? And it's this thing.
Yes. Yep.
They're trying. You know who that is pinging, right?
Who's that?
That's your daughter.
Oh shoot! That is actually yeah. Go ahead.
Right? Isn't that your daughter? It's your daughter, right? No? That's my phone or your phone?
That's my phone.
Oh, okay. Right. I think I'll say it again. I think they are trying to be light on their feet.
Right. Yes.
That's why I say
Yes.
the word is not light.
I know, but that's what they're trying to do.
It's about being ready.
Yeah.
There's a difference between light and ready.
Yeah. Okay. That I would say that is their best unintentional interpretation of something that they don't even know exists.
Exist. Okay.
You see?
Okay.
Because remember, right? When did they see Bruce Lee bouncing and moving around? In Way of the Dragon fighting Chuck Norris.
Right.
So guess what? Some people's instruction comes from that movie.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You see? Because remember, right? People like Joe Louis and Ted Wong, it's called a private lesson. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
But what they got from Bruce Lee is not what Casey gets from you.
Yeah.
Imagine if Casey comes over and you go, okay, Casey, put the gloves on.
Right.
Try to stop me.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
Right.
She comes back the next week. Put the gloves on. Try to stop me.
Right.
She's going to learn something.
Yeah.
And when she goes to her own place and has somebody put the gloves on and tells that person, try to stop me, right? Guess what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
You see?
Yes.
but she never really received instruction from you.
Yes.
Stand this way,
Yes.
hold your hands this way.
Yes.
Here are the fundamentals, whatever,
Yes.
whatever. She
Yes.
never got that.
And don't flare your elbow when you're striking like everybody does.
Yeah.
The thing
Oh my
is,
God.
Dwight, he will never tell her put the gloves on until she learns.
Yeah,
those
exactly. It
fundamentals.
has, and we can
Has
come
to have the-
as we come into the close of this. This is the perfect example of a through line. I'll be teaching Casey. She will come into the room right there, watch
Yep.
her for 30 seconds,
Yep.
and walk out, and I'll go in and she'll say, "You forgot this step, didn't you? Or you forgot that step, didn't you?" It needs and she can tell the pieces that are missing.
Yes. Yes. Oh, for sure.
know?
For sure.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It is what it is, right? But I want to leave you on this note.
Sure.
True JKD,
Right.
right? True JKD. There are people who like the Inosano detractors, right? They get a hold of Bruce Lee's conversation with Daniel Lee,
Mm-hmm.
and he's talking about Daniel Inosanto.
Mm-hmm.
And he says to Daniel Lee, "Oh, Dan is still searching."
Mm-hmm.
The Inosano detractors take that and they laugh at Inosano
Mm-hmm.
because, Bruce Lee is making fun of him because he's still searching,
Mm-hmm.
right? Almost as if to say, well, Inosano should know that once you find Bruce Lee, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
There's
Right.
no need for anything else.
Right.
So let me make sure I understand this.
Mm-hmm.
At 36, a guy who was 32, who was working stuff out and then died tragically, you're supposed to stop searching
Right.
because he became a celebrity after his death, or more of a celebrity after his death.
Right.
That's what that's how stupid these guys are.
Hmm.
So true JKD searches continuously, because if you didn't,
Mm-hmm.
I know some people that would have never found
Mm-hmm.
a way, even if this is all they ever get, to strike and have their hands pass each other on the highway. I'm done.
And don't drag. I will end with this. If that's JKD's thing, the searching, the whatever is fine. They got to reach it. They got to go to that seminar.
No.
Okay, yeah. Even if it's just they have a specific road to go down, just know, especially in the beginning, there's a right way and there's a wrong way to throw a jab and a cross.
That's part of the search.
You see? So, and you have to know, though. You have to know.
A beginner cannot know.
I know, and that's the
That's-
thing, right?
that's-
And
that's
you're
part of the
depending on
search.
teachers who are supposed to know, who don't know.
No. You think they're supposed to know because of how you were raised.
That's right. That's right, Dwight. That's
You
right.
think they're supposed to know
You think
because
it-
of how you were raised. They were
think
not
it-
raised the same way as you.
The lesson is you cannot teach what you don't know.
No.
You can
Look,
only teach
Jeet.
what you know.
Yeah.
I was thinking about this.
Yeah.
You and I have Baltimore in common.
Yep.
You and I have Trinidad in common.
Yep.
You and I have Inosano in common.
Yep.
But we don't have them in the same dosages.
Right. That is funny. That is funny.
Right?
Oh God.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the problem with your point of view is that your point of view comes from way up here.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not even a well-known point of view because it was only a bunch of people in Baltimore that grew into another small bunch of people in Trinidad.
Right.
And the thing is, his point of view is experiential, right?
Yes.
So when he says they're teaching them the wrong job, I have said the same thing you've just said, but do they know that? They may not know that.
Right.
So therefore, you can't.
No, just don't tell me that's their way, that's their style. No, it's wrong. It's wrong. The fundamentals of the job is just wrong. But whatever.
Different styles have different ways.
I understand that. I'm just
is never going to throw
no,
the way you
but don't
expect
even, I don't even want to go down that road.
And that's what you have to learn, that different ways have different ways.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So Mutai is not going to ever throw the hook, and you will always be screaming at the screen because they're never going to.
Even though the hook that's knocked the most his people out in history is not this, it ain't that, it's that. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, you know.
Fundamental objective. Okay. Mwah.
All right. Wait.
Yeah.
There was something that you told me not to look at.
Oh. Yeah, you can put up that little caption.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So let me
I'll
find
put
it
What?
because I have no idea what it is, and
Kind of goes back to exactly what I was saying
What caption is this now?
after I get through
I have no
Dwight.
idea either, Dwight.
Yes.
you didn't see it either.
No,
Yeah.
she hasn't either.
Nope.
I'm ready. I have it. Tell me, okay. See the top of the page right there? TCF Instructor's Manual.
Ah.
The first thing you learn when you walk in, right? Can you read it there, Dwight? Or do I have to read it?
No, I can't. You have to read it. I can't see it.
Yeah,
I can't see the whole
so
thing.
we bow at the beginning and ending of every class, at the beginning of every form and set, and before any instruction with another student or instructor. My point of this is that it's very structured. It has a true line from the minute you walk out that door right up until, well, of course, I just showed you the snapshot of page 1 till page 100 or whatever. It's very
Really? Okay.
okay.
So
And if people like what we do, you can't deny the structure.
Yeah.
You can't piecemeal this thing together. You just can't do it.
Yeah. And nobody is supposed to be piecemealing. They're supposed to be finding
Yes.
what works with what, but not just that. It's not even find what works with what.
Right.
It's also what can help you to refine what you already have.
Yes.
yes.
And if you discover that what you already have lacks some fundamentals, guess what?
Yep.
You got to ditch that and you got to train the fundamentals.
But Dwight, it's like you and Ria just said. What if you just don't know what you don't know? You can't even recognize you don't know the fundamentals.
But if you do,
right?
but if and when you do,
yes. Yes.
okay.
You're an amazing human being, my friend. After all your decades and certificates and awards and up the wazoo, and you still come to two simple people like us. Whew.
Well,
Yeah.
you know,
Ron Goldstein, Jose, Amy, Bremner, what's his name? Bill, Bucky, all of them guys. They have no idea how lucky they are to have you.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
But you know, when you see a fella, right, and he say, one good reason for the job is to hide the fact that the cross coming.
No. Here's what I always remember about you. In one session when we were in the garage, and I always say, Dwight, I always practice with my weak side forward because I always got to keep challenging myself. And I had on the glove, and we were doing something. And I just kind of struck your glove with my left hand, and you said, and thank God that's your left side. I'll never forget that. You said that. Thank God that's your left side.
My closing remark to Dwight is
Yes.
there's still time.
Absolutely.
There's always,
Absolutely.
there's always time to
Thank you, Kendall.
We are
Love you, my
always,
friend.
always getting better. Even
Yes.
us. I mean, we are lifelong learners,
And
lifelong
anybody
searchers.
has questions can
So,
reach out. And
I mean, we might
yeah.
sound pretty, horse
Yeah.
blinders on going down the track, right?
Right.
But
It makes sense though.
But in reality, no. I mean, in reality, if there's something that comes along that says, "Hey,"
You see what Jamie says?
Jamie said, yeah, let's do this again tomorrow. Jamie, are there anything better to do or what?
Jamie, your Uncle Dwight losing his voice. I can't even teach tomorrow.
Exactly.
Lifelong learners.
Listen, we should do one live session like this shorter when we come there in 2 weeks. There you go.
No, Dwight
Let me- let me-
Yeah.
Let me see. Let me see if we can put that together.
That would be fun.
Yeah, I'll send you all the info because everything's booked.
Okay, cool.
Right.
All right.
Everything's
Okay.
booked.
And those who want to come to the seminar, if you don't try anything else, come on. Come on.
Well,
There
you
you
know, Facebook
November.
events under.
November 16th and 17th.
You're
Come
the
on
next
down.
contestant.
You're the next contestant.
All right.
All right.
Okay, man.
Peace
Love
out,
you.
bud.
Thank you so much.
Anytime. You too, my friend.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
That called a reverse dialogue. Okay, that was episode 314. So if there is anything that you guys didn't understand or right, any comments you have, just go ahead and put them, and I'll ask G to take a look at it and what have you, and I'll take a look at it and see if there's anything else either of us need to follow up on. All right, thanks for everybody who showed up and took part. Jamie, thanks so much. Good to see you as always. And that's it. So you know the deal. Follow me on Twitter at Dwight Woods and on Instagram at Dwight D Woods, at jkdrebel.com. Click on the Rebel Gear link, and that's where you'll see stuff like this, or stuff like this, or stuff like this. jkdrebel.com. Just click on the Rebel Gear link. Coming up, since we're talking seminars, so that the seminar in Temecula, if you go to my events on Facebook, you'll find it there. I don't have a link for it, but that's a seminar down south in Southern California, in G's neck of the woods, TCF seminar, quite like the one we did here in Miami. So we just moved it over to California. So the details, are on my Facebook events page. But here in Miami, go to titansofjkd.com. Next month in February, we're doing Titans of JKD 4 with Cass Magda and Chris Kent. What else is there to promote? Over at paypal.me/unifiedma Miami. paypal.me/unifiedma Miami. You can get a hold of the raw but edited version of the Jeet Kune Do Journey Volume 1. That's paypal.me/unifiedma Miami. If you catch this show on the YouTube, you can join the YouTube channel, right? There should be a little button that says join, and you can become a paid subscriber to the channel, and that helps to support me and the program. And that is it for today. Let me get my hands on this thing. Okay, get that out of there. All right, so again, the best thing you can do is to share this video, spread the word about the Jeet Kune Do dialogues. That is it for me for this weekend. I should get rid of this cold over the weekend and have my full voice back by next week. So you guys have a great weekend. This is Dwight Woods, the Jeet Kune Do Rebel, signing off. Take care. Talk soon.